All right, getting started in just a moment. All right, getting started in just a moment. Okay, getting started in just a moment. Everyone will be showing up here in just a sec. Gonna have some fun today. Looking forward to it. Gonna let you guys in on some of our major trade secrets today. So, and we'll have available our do-it-yourself kit program that has all of our templates, formulas, checklists, and everything available that we'll be giving you as an offer here real soon. So. All right. Looks like we are just about ready to go. And it's about that time. Okay, about to get started. Welcome everyone. Everyone's starting to pile on. All right. Very cool. All right. Looks like it's time. Okay, welcome out everyone. Go ahead and let me know if you can hear me and see me in the chat. And we're gonna get rolling here in just a moment. So just quick heads up for you, okay? I'll go ahead and, okay, so quick heads up for you. Some of you are like gonna wanna try to listen in the background while doing stuff, and I highly recommend that to be here today to get the most out of this training. There's some deeper concepts because this is going to uproot what you already know or have been taught about Facebook advertising and social media advertising. And this is a completely different paradigm shift. This is going to be different than anything you've ever seen. And we're going to have all the proof for that today. But just make sure that you're paying attention, because if you miss something, then everything kind of builds upon each other. And so I want you to be able to stay present, stay here with us, and we're going to have some fun. We're going to make sure we're still interacting in the chat. Let me know if you can hear me and see me. Hey, Jeremy. And we're going to show you our method, show you what we've done in our agency that's worked after millions of in ad spend, and what works better than anything we've seen. And this, in fact, is going to fly in the face of just about every ad trainer or guru that you know that teaches you about Facebook ads, because they're trying to use an old, outdated style or methodology, better known as traditional direct response. And that doesn't work optimally for social media, for Facebook. And the thing that what most people won't tell you is it's not about the optimization, it's about the messaging. Okay, so what we're going to focus on today is the messaging. Guest 5705, no, it's not, it's live. So all right, if you need to refresh your screen so you can see me, then go for that. Okay, Matt, looks like a Vimeo you may need to change from Vimeo to YouTube stream link on mine. It looks looking like, because I had Vimeo on there before, that we need to switch over on that. Make sure you have the YouTube designation, not the Vimeo designation. Okay, I'm gonna get rolling here in just a moment. All right, let's do this. Okay, so right on, Stefan, 13-minute video, took a lot of solid notes. Right on. 5 fallacies of Facebook ads are kind of crazy. Yeah, thanks for coming on, Ash. Appreciate it. Yes, Alejandro, it is. Okay, we're gonna get rolling here. So, yeah, just make sure. Okay, sweet. Right on, Matt. Okay, we're gonna get rolling. All right. So just so all of you know, just a real quick update. We are going to have an offer for you towards the end, where we give you all of our, basically it's a do-it-yourself kit of our course that has every proven ad template we use in our agency, every formula, every checklist, our troubleshooting checklists when they don't work, how we fix them, all of that around our unique processes. So we're gonna have that available for you after we present to you what we've got and prove it to you that it works a little better than anything you've ever seen. And I do mean that. So you guys are going to see that we approach things a little differently. This is probably going to be refreshing to a lot of you. And let's look forward to, let's jump right into it, okay? So let's give me one sec here to make sure everything is good and we are ready to roll. Okay. All right, so everybody, this is our system for writing predictably high converting, fully scalable Facebook ads without hiring a pro copywriter. And if you are a copywriter, you're gonna have your eyes opened today because I personally have studied all the greats and have studied copywriting for a long time. And I'm telling you that it's translated differently for social media. So if you're not a copywriter, you don't have to worry about that, but we will prove some of that today. And if you are, stay open because this means this is for social media. You can still do some of your traditional techniques and what you've learned in your tool belt on your funnel pages, but there's a different thing I'm going to show you today when it comes to social media. Okay, and ultimately this major idea is that most of your selling and pre-selling and promoting is going to be in your ad, not necessarily on your landing page, or it can be very peripheral on both. Okay. But doing that is going to help you pre-qualify, pre-filter, and all the things that work within the algorithm. We're going to show you how that works, okay? So specifically today, how we contextually target with text. A lot of people are wondering about that. That increases ROI 2x to 5x with our coded approach using proven formulas tested on over 1.5 million in the last year, and it's closer to 2 million now. So without hiring a professional copywriter, which is what most business owners and agencies are going to do. Okay. Now, is this relevant to you? If you're an agency, absolutely, more than anything. If you're a business owner, super important that you understand and get this, because this is going to be the difference between ads burning out every couple days and not. Okay. And if you run an e-com store or a physical product store, this is going to be super important because a lot of people understand the tech side and they have a Shopify store or WooCommerce or e-com store, and what they're doing is they're running hey, simple low-hanging fruit pictures, product demonstrations of physical products. Hey, get it here, and they send them right to a product page. But if you want to stand out and be able to overcome all of that, then you want to be able to understand how to do this and do a lot more pre-qualifying and pre-selling that help people make decisions, so that when they go to your product page or when they go to your sales page, either one, it works better, it converts better, okay? And when you have a better user experience and a better ad with higher scores, which is what we're gonna show you how to do, then that's going to allow you to outbid automatically the other people that you're competing against when it comes to those physical products. Same concept applies for everything else, every other type of ad, but I want you here with physical products to understand that, okay? So some of you are course creators, some of you are digital product owners, and you're creators by nature, and you want to help people. You've created stuff to make things work. You maybe have online courses. You may be a coach. Okay, this is very, very relevant to you. So just make sure that you pay attention, because you're going to start to see, and I want you to consider, what do most of the ads that you see look like? Okay, when I show you some of the examples of what not to do, you may laugh and chuckle to yourself a little bit, because these other ads that you see in your niche are the same way. Okay, so just so you know, just quick proof for you. It's just a quick screenshot of earlier this year. You know, $1.5 million in ad spend. Okay, and that's just across all of our accounts. Of not everyone that we manage, but it's everyone we consult. Okay, so these are people that we've managed in the past, and we've now moved them out into their own, you know, internal teams, and we consult and monitor things. And this is some of our clients that we've never actually managed, but we write ads for, or we consult on an hourly basis, helping them with their strategy, helping with their messaging. So as an ad agency, we just, so some of you are wondering, you know, you want to try to hire us. We are completely booked full in terms of ad management. However, we do have people that practice and operate this methodology, and we will be able to refer you to those people. And then obviously we do consulting and coaching and look at your messaging and fix stuff as well. So that's what we're here for. And obviously the first step to that is to be able to make sure that your stuff works, right? And to get the do-it-yourself stuff, right? To understand the foundation. So we're gonna give you the foundation today, okay? All right, so by the end of this workshop, here's my promise to you. Our contextual targeting approach that eliminates the laser targeting myth, parlayed by so many gurus, okay? And just, you'll stay with me. That's gonna be the first big thing I'm gonna show here in our trade secrets. You're also gonna learn why pro copywriters are actually handicapped. And if some of you have watched the video on the last page, you understand why, okay? So I'm gonna quickly hit on that, but then we're gonna keep rolling. The 5 fallacies of Facebook ads, you saw some of that in your confirmation video. And if you didn't take notes, then you wanna pay attention when we hit that section again, because what's gonna happen is we're gonna hit all of these throughout the course of the webinar. So you gotta pay attention, because at the end of it, all those 5 fallacies are gonna be disproven. Those myths are gonna be busted, okay? You're gonna learn about our golden social rule of engagement, which is super important. We've got 18 of them. You're gonna learn about our golden rule and a couple other ones along the way, just inadvertently throughout some of the training today, okay? And obviously we've got 3 trade secrets today, one of them being that contextual targeting approach that we use in our agency, all right? And that we counsel and help our clients with, okay? So this specific training you're gonna get today, this is something I got from Jim, who's a new member here inside of the group. Literally said that from this webinar, this free training that you guys are on right now, he didn't go through the course really, but just like he said, the ones I wrote based solely on what I learned from Chris's free webinar, we're now getting a 5.24x return on ad spend from cold ads, okay? Direct to a webinar, okay? 5.24, all right? That's front-end sales. I'm stoked, some of my clients, and that's me applying only a portion of what it's inside the course, humble brag over, right? So we also talk a little bit about how, you know, you perfect the art of the humble brag, which is what a lot of copywriters can't seem to really kind of get down either. So at any rate, let me tell you where I'm coming from here, because why am I here today? Real simple. That's my partner in business and in life, Irina, and that's a picture of us in a place called Divide, Colorado. And I think it's kind of fitting and funny that it's called Divide because it was at a low point in our life when we had just left a company that we had helped build that did 200 million in 5 years in revenue. And I had helped build it, I had named it, I had helped with the systems behind it, and was earning a lot of money myself, okay? And the company got very corrupted. The owner, who was one of my very good friends, one of my best friends, had a lot of people around him that started to take advantage of him because he was very trusting. And what happened is he turned out not listening to me when I tried to tell him, hey, things are corrupt. These people are messed up. They're going after you. They're sabotaging things. And sure enough, he didn't listen. So I had to leave. I had to resign. The problem is I lost all my income and my rights to my own products to be able to sell because I had a 12-month non-compete clause in my contract, okay? So what that means is I had to completely start over from scratch, okay? Completely start over, and I mean, when this happened, we lost our house in Vail, Colorado. You know, we walked to the ski lifts. You know, we had a great life, and we had to completely start it all over again. And so instead of going to do that and creating more stuff, we opened up an agency, started from scratch, and started to use the same formulas we had been using, but tweaking them to work with every business owner that we worked with. So this formula that I'm going to show you today, all right, it's one of our trade secrets. we tested on every type of business: digital products, physical, local, brick, mortar, agencies, coaches. We've done this with just about anything. There's not really an application that we haven't found that it works for, because the actual formula that we are going to show you today is not based on how to sell a product or how to sell a service or how to sell a specific thing. It's a decision-making process that we are going to teach you and give you examples of. Okay, so it's a natural decision-making mechanism in the brain that we are effectively affecting. And so we can apply this to just about anything. We're going to show you how that applies. Okay, so just so you know, we've worked with some some high-profile names. One of them, you may see, their digital marketer. Love those guys. We did a transition agency agreement for them for about 7 months last year, when their chief marketing officer left, or their director of marketing left. And so we kind of cut their CPAs in half twice, and tripled their ad spend. And they were already doing, one of the biggest players in the digital marketing space. They even have events where they have, 10,000 people at, multiple times a year. They're that big. They're huge. They're one of the big players in the industry. We really turned them around and handed them back into the internal team, and they went on their way. But that was just one. Obviously, some of these other names you may notice. One of them, Smart Music Business. We're going to show you a little case study about that, as well as the Business Lounge, which is Kim. Some of you may have seen Kim's ad, or Kim's the email about Kim and her, going to a front-end $9 offer, making a profit. I'm going to show you guys that ad today. Okay, so some of you have seen this on the video that when you came in, all right, which was, how the way we communicate has changed. All right, how we communicate has changed. I'm going to check and make sure that all right. Click on OK. Just checking the chat on everything. Let's see. Okay. All right. Yeah, guys. So block out about 2 hours. Okay. This is not a normal webinar where we give you some kind of thin, crappy, here's my 3 little tips and then huge pitch. Okay. You guys are going to see that we don't sell by selling. We educate you on what needs to be done, and then give you our offer. It's not going to be this, hard twist your arm type offer. Some of you are going to want to continue with this, some of you won't. So just pay attention for that, because we will be dropping that link here shortly. Okay. So one thing you guys saw here, well, obviously, let me go back here real quick, is understand that a lot of people, it's very, very amateur to try to use gimmicks, or, what people would say, stop the scroll, or a pattern interrupt, right? You don't need those. Those actually prove to work against you in the Facebook algorithm, and we'll talk a little bit more about why. Okay, so the other thing is we have group conversations. They're not one-on-one conversations, yet some people try to talk very one-on-one, like, hey, are you a business owner? Are you a chiropractor? Are you suffering from this? Do you, you may have this. Like, we're not talking to one person, right? The news feed is not a place where you have a one-on-one conversation. So why is it that most people screw that up and use direct languaging? Okay, we'll talk a little bit more about that. But the other thing is, the traditional power words do not work like they used to. Okay, so for those of you that did not see this quick review, all right, some of you have, and thank you for paying attention to that. But we had this particular video on our waiting room page before you came in live. Okay, and HubSpot and Outbrain did a study. It was all about, they're proving that these traditional power words that copywriters use in their tool belt are not working as well. They did this across, a major platform study, where they found that these words like, magic, tip, credit, cure, like it all decreased click rates by more than half. Okay, and cure was like minus 49%, so just a little less than half, like by 1/100th, right? The word simple, how to, easy, need, free, all these words used in headlines actually decreased clicks. These are the things that traditional marketing has always taught are the best words to use. They're the ones that people expect to use and marketers always use. And guess what? They've proven not to work anymore. People are over it. They're over the hype. They've seen everything by now because people are inundated with ads and advertising all the time. So what can we do? Well, if we just actually talk a little more normal, within the right context, and we're going to get into context and how important that is, then these things aren't going to matter. Like amazing minus 24%. So basically decrease it by a quarter anytime the word amazing was in there. The word secret minus 23. Okay. So do we use some of these words? Yes, in the right context. Okay. Like I've got trade secret for you today, which is, trade secret, not just secret by itself. And I'm not on a Facebook ad right now or on a headline. I'm using it inside of my specific, workshop here for you. So just understand that the things that turn people off are now the things that most copywriters are using all the time. That's what they're being taught. It's the blind leading the blind. You've got these old dogs that have been doing this for a long time that are not getting any better, teaching the same old crap to people, and it causing a worse user experience, which the algorithm picks up on and starts to score your ads lower because of that, okay? So ultimately, it means you don't have to hire a copywriter. A lot of business owners and lots of agencies like, I want to get a copywriter. Well, the only real copywriting training out there is more traditional copywriting training, which is more like sales letters, okay? Or writing a VSL, okay? A video sales letter. And that doesn't apply the same way. It's not translated the same way. You're not speaking the same language on social media and on Facebook, okay? So one of the things you do want to be, understand is that the biggest thing about headlines that copywriters are taught is that they have to give an outrageous, bold claim, right? Make a big promise. Well, the problem with that is with Facebook, that's against their actual terms and conditions. It's called an unsubstantiated claim. So an unsubstantiated claim, according to the Federal Trade Commission in the United States, says you will not promise them a result that they won't have, that every single customer can experience 100% of the time. So those outlier results or things that you tell them they can do, lose 10 pounds in 5 days or whatever the case is, you can't promise them those things because not everybody is going to have that type of result. So you can't make those promises. And this is where traditional copywriters get really hung up, can't understand how to do this, right? Because it doesn't apply. You have to completely shift your whole methodology of thinking and the way that you operate here, okay? So, but the good news is you don't have to give outrageous promises or claims that make you feel salesy. But some people are like, well, this is what I've been taught, right? Understand that most gurus and trainers that show you all their results and how much money they've made and all of that stuff, they made their fortune in the traditional internet before social media came around. I'm talking about the household names. None of them did it using Facebook. They did it using banner ads and email drops and JVs and solo ads and, advertising networks with all kinds of hypey stuff because they were battling to get people's attention. And so everything was really curiosity-based stuff. Just try to get clicks as cheap as possible. But that's not social media. And in fact, you try to operate like that on social media, and that may be exactly why most of your ads are just completely burning out and only lasting for a couple days, okay? So let's make sure here, all right. Alejandro, if you did this for digital marketer, works for me, that's it. Yeah, well, and when I gave it back to the team, that internal team didn't want to take our particular training methodology, and so they resorted back to the traditional stuff. So if you look at like what they're doing now, it's not the same. Like some of our ads are still running, and you can definitely tell the difference. After watching this workshop, you'll understand the differences in how to spot our types of ads. You'll be able to see some of that if you go look at them, but ultimately you don't, like what they're doing now, they don't get it. Like they didn't ever take to it. No one was there to be like, oh yeah, do this. So they didn't. But anyways, understand this. No one knew any different. And most of these gurus and trainers who made their fortune, they did it before social media. They did not make it in the social media world, okay? This means that they're basically applying these old outdated methods to social media. And because they have all this proof that you don't have, they are still successful. But yet they still have ads that burn out and they have to start over all the time because their ads are getting high negative scores, okay? Because it's interruptive and it's invasive, which those are two things you absolutely don't want, okay? So 5 fallacies of Facebook ads. Aiming for the cheapest lead. You're going to understand that the difference here is you don't want to pay for the cheapest lead. You don't want the cheapest cost. because traditional marketing says, if I can, whatever my funnel is, I have my conversion rates, whatever it is, it's, I can expect a 20% opt-in and a 2% conversion rate of sales, right? 2% of, the people that hit the page. And that's to me, it's a broken model. It never felt right anyway. But I found I could get much better if I told the algorithm what I needed, and then it went and found me the more qualified person, which then they converted at a higher rate, which meant they were worth way more money to me because they converted 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 times more than the other ads. And yes, the lead costed more, but it made such a difference in terms of, like, if you were to pay $1 to make $1.50, that's the traditional model. Here you may pay $2.50, but you're going to make like 6 or 7. Okay, so it's worth it to pay more for the quality lead because they're worth more to you. You make more, okay, per person. You make more per lead. Okay, so also by measuring cost per click, that doesn't matter because that's relative. We'll talk more about that. The shorter the ad, the better. This is what most people think because this is the only deductive reasoning that they have in their brain because they can't understand how the algorithm works. Okay, so we're going to talk about that obviously today and show you the differences. Optimizing for the next step, that's something that we still do, but we don't do it by itself. Now, what do I mean by that? Some of you are like, what do you mean optimizing for the next step? Let's say you're wanting to generate leads. Optimizing for the next step is, some people try to optimize for a landing page view instead of the lead. You may want to optimize for the lead, but then also on top of that, you may have another ad set or another campaign that's also optimizing for further on down your process, like for purchase, which really makes a difference because Facebook is only going to show the ad when you optimize for purchase to people who have purchase history in their profile. So that means they're more likely to buy stuff, which means they're worth more to you. Okay, so am I saying to do it all the time and only that? No, absolutely not. What I am saying is it's a part of an overall strategy where we do multiple things. Okay, and then the last one is needing a pattern interrupt, and we'll talk about that a little bit too here in a moment. Okay, so we'll basically handle and address these as we go out through, and then we'll wrap with this. Okay, but understand Facebook is not a one-on-one conversation. You're talking directly to a group of people like you're at a party. So I want you to think about this. When you come across your newsfeed, if you like, how do you feel when you're going through your newsfeed and then all of a sudden someone's like, hey, do you suffer from this, or are you this? And they're trying to talk directly to you. Isn't it a little bit annoying? Do you know that what happens when you do that is that people don't like it and they start giving you negative feedback? So oftentimes you may, a real estate agent may have an ad that says, looking to sell your home, and it's like, no, I'm not, like, why? So what you do is you see it as irrelevant to you because they're way too direct and they're annoying you and bugging you. But this is what everybody teaches to do, is to try to call out your target market. And I'm saying there's a smarter, better contextual way to do that that doesn't cause them to mark it as spam or not relevant. Okay, so we see this a lot, like people who are in the industry learning Facebook ads. Attention business owners, it's like, that's just not a good thing. I'll show you why. Okay, so first off, one of the things to understand, this is not the most important element for it, but it is important to understand psychologically, is you don't ever want to ask your prospects to decide if they want to pay attention. Because what you're doing is you're giving your power away to them to let them make the decision rather than you. And I want you to understand that you don't ever have to do that on social media. Okay, so instead, if you set the right context, they'll naturally want to read it, okay, when it feels non-threatening, all right? But here's what happens. Like for me, right, I haven't been a real estate agent for about 10 years. That was my prior life in my 20s, right? And but for some reason, I still get ads every once in a while from real estate agents. So they're screaming at me with their capitalized words, which makes you look like you're screaming. Agents, team leads, and brokers. First off, I'm none of those. So because of that, I'm going to hide the ad, mark it as irrelevant or repetitive, and I may report it saying, look, this is not relevant to me and this is annoying as AF, right? I want you all to get that. These metrics right here is the main reason why your ads work for the first couple days, but then it starts accumulating negative feedback. And because of that, your ad gets lower quality scores, lower relevance scores, lower engagement scores, lower audience experience scores. Because of that, your ad loses its power in the auctions to show the ad that it bids for in every auction. There's like millions of auctions, hundreds of millions of auctions a day, because every single time the ad is shown, there's an auction that was bid for. And a lot of your bidding is not done with the money that you have. Hope you all understand that. The biggest factors in terms of what and how your ad is being taken in the auction is based on your scores, your quality scores. The kind of user experience people are having with your ad is what matters more than how much you bid. Okay, so it's more about bidding with a quality ad that gives a good user experience instead of trying to bid with your money. So what I do want to see here real quick is if you guys could tell me, all right, do this. 1, 2, or 3. You're a 1 if you can't get Facebook ads to work. Like you essentially are trying to place your ads and you're running ads, but you're not getting your return back and they're not working. If that's you, put a 1 in the chat. I just need to see this so I can custom tailor this workshop to who's here. Okay, so that's 1. You can put 1 in the chat, just type a 1 if your ads just do not work. 2, you're running ads and they work for the first couple days, but then they start to burn out and your cost per acquisition or whatever, lead, sale, whatever, starts to go up. Or you stop getting impressions. And you may be close to breaking even, but not entirely, right? So if you're breaking even or your ads burn out or your cost goes way up, that's number 2. Put 2 in the chat, okay? And number 3 is you're making money on your ads. You're making money, but when you try to scale it and you end up, your cost per acquisition goes way up. When you spend more money, your margins shrink to nothing. Your margins shrink, you can't scale. And if that's you, then put 3 in the chat if you cannot scale, if your costs go up when you try to spend more money. And number 4, if you're a complete absolute badass ninja that is making a ton of money and is just here curious to see about this whole, my whole thing. So if that's you, then just put a 4, okay? So I know I said 3, but I want to identify some of you badasses out there, right? Yes, so Nick, great one here. I'm gonna address this because we should have, earlier. Nick says, does the issue about unsubstantiated claims being against the terms and conditions hold true in countries not governed by the FTC, e.g. the UK? Yes, it is, because Facebook has adopted that policy globally. Okay, so this is the way they make everything very stringent because of that everywhere. So yeah. All right, so we've got lots of 1s, a few 2s, okay. 3s, and guys, one of the things you want to do here is sign in to Chatroll. Okay, sign in because then it doesn't just say guest number. Like, I want to be able to address you by your name. So what you want to do is go over to like refresh the screen, go to Chatroll, sign in. Okay, and I don't know if that was a good thing because then you guys may have to start over with the workshop. So maybe just stay there. 4, but trying to understand why. I like you. I like it, Mike. Maybe just stay as you are with guest. All right. So 1s and 2s. Okay. Awesome. So I'm seeing this. Okay. So cool. All right. So this is one of the main reasons why. So I'm going to teach you how to be less invasive, how to set the proper context so that your ads reach the right people and they don't piss off the wrong people, which is where your problem actually lies. Some of you have ever heard the term like one screw up will take away 10 attaboys. Like I used to get that when I was younger, when I was working in my family business for my uncles and everything. They're like, look, you do all these great things, but if you still screw up, it kind of erases all those attaboys. Well, it was the same thing with Facebook's algorithm. Okay. So when you start getting, even if it's a small percentage of people that are giving negative feedback, your ad is still not going to work. So the point here is this. Some of you are like, well, Chris, how do I do this then if like, all this negative feedback affects my ad? The objective here, which we're going to show you, and we're going to show you how we do it specifically, is to be able to write an ad that gives the proper context so that it's relevant to the people that it needs to be relevant to. And for those who it's not relevant to, they see it and dismiss it, and they don't mark it as irrelevant, or they don't mark it as spam. Okay, so they just leave it alone. That way your ads can reach the right people and not the wrong people. Okay, make sense? Let me know in the chat if that makes sense. Okay. Okay, cool. So then here we go. Number one, trade secret, our contextual targeting with text. We're going to get right into the good stuff right away. Okay. How we train Facebook's machine learning algorithm and finding qualified prospects with less wasted ad spend. Number two, then we're going to show you our epic ad formula, which is the formula we use for just about everything. Okay, it's that natural decision-making process. There's no matter when I say this, no matter how many times I say this on any train, I'm like, it's a natural decision-making process. It applies to everything. I still have people at the end that are like, well, I have this kind of business. Will it work for me? I just said it was going to work for you. Okay, so it's not about the specific product or service that you're providing. It's about how you write the ad. Okay, so you'll understand a little more here as we go through it. Number three is how you can work with Facebook's algorithm to create qualified prospects out of thin air. I know that seems a little hypey. Stay with me. You're going to love this. Okay. Appreciate that. Okay. Appreciate that, Nick, Bobby, JG. Yeah, I'm just going to call out the people that have their name in here that signed in. Right on. So number one, okay, understand this first. The Facebook algorithm is so smart, it has over 400,000 different data points for every Facebook profile. So if you have a Facebook profile, which you have to if you're on this call because we ran nothing but Facebook ads and Instagram ads, right? So if you're here, then you have a profile on Facebook, and they have over 400,000 different data points at last count. And this was a while ago. It's probably significantly more now. So that means every website you visited, that's one data point. Every interest you have, that's another data point. Any behaviors you have, that's another data point. Okay, so over 400,000 different data points. That's how smart this algorithm is. And because it's an artificial intelligence machine learning, it's doing hundreds or thousands of calculations per second to create a perfect profile of you. Okay, and this is for every Facebook user. It's a little scary, okay, to know that they know that much about you. But as an advertiser, we can use this to our advantage because we don't know the personal data, we don't know the privacy of them, we don't understand, we don't know who they are, but Facebook does. But they know who to show the ad to. So we don't have to worry about knowing who they are as long as we just have, say, hey, Facebook, these people, show them the ad. Okay, we're going to show you how we do that. So understand this about the direct invasive calling out your prospect thing. You're only using one of 400,000 data points when you say something like looking to sell your home. That's one data point, okay? One aspiration. But that's, although it may be specific, it's a turnoff to people. Because even if people are looking to sell their home, they may not read it because you're coming at them all wrong, okay? So why not use context to qualify more data points for a more specific prospect? Because Facebook understands context. It literally can scan the words. Hear me out here. This is important. Everybody listen to this. Facebook can scan your content and understand what's being promoted and who it should go to. It's artificial intelligence, guys. It's getting better and better at this, okay? So this method that we developed years ago, we've refined and found that it works better and better over time because the algorithm is getting smarter and smarter, okay? So let's show you how this works. For one, I want you to understand how a human being looks through their newsfeed and scans and processes information. If you ask people what's the first thing you see through the newsfeed, most people will tell you it's the video or the ad, all right? Or the video or the image, which is actually not true. Some people may see that consciously, like that's what they're consciously aware of at first, that reaches their conscious mind. But what they've done is they've scanned the top part for context. And they may have done that consciously or unconsciously. Either way, the brain is going to tell them, whoa, hold up, stop, take a look at this because this is relevant to you, okay? So the first thing they do is they scan the top text. The second thing they do is they glance at the image or the video to see if it's relevant to what they just scanned, okay? The next thing they do after they do that is they look at what's called the below headline, right? It's funny enough, Facebook actually calls this the headline, which, as we all know, a headline is supposed to be at the top. Heading, headline, heading line, right? So you often will hear me talk about the headline, and I'm talking about the text up top here. What I call this down here is called the below creative headline, the BCH for short. Below creative, which the creative is the image or the video, right? So the creative referred to in marketing is the image or the video. So what I'm saying here is this is the below creative headline. Okay, so I'll call it the BCH, or I'll try to announce it the below creative headline. But when I talk about headline, I talk about the top text. Okay, so what happens is they scan these three things. They make sure that number one works, number two works, and if these two are congruent, then they look at number three to see if this is congruent with what's being set up top, which it kind of is, but not entirely, right? At first glance, it's not entirely like this is about artists and musicians, and then accelerate your fan page. It didn't say anything about artists and musicians again. So here's what happens when people go through a decision-making process to consume the content in your ad. Number one, they scan it, they scan the image, they scan the below creative headline, and if they decide that they want to move forward, if it's a video, they may click play, or if it's an image, they may click see more, the blue text here, if the text is long enough. Now, in this particular case, it wasn't long enough, so there was no continuation see more blue text that you click, and then it opens up the entire ad, right? So what you want to keep in mind is that when you do a longer ad, it has the little see more text, and sometimes they click that first, right? So then they choose to either watch or read, depending on if they're either a dominant reader or a dominant person who watches videos, okay? Some people prefer to read, some people prefer to watch. But here's what he did wrong. Most just try to call out their audience, right? It's like what he did. He tried to use these little blue ball emojis, which I think is ridiculous. I'll rail on emojis in a minute. But the next thing he did is artists and musicians. Now that's his headline. Some of you may argue that, learn how to get your music in front of all this, that's also part of the headline. No, it's not. Because the headline is what you have before you paragraph break. And so it's clear that his headline is only the artists and musicians part, okay? So because of that, all the context you're setting is two different data points that are not even related. Because an artist may not necessarily mean a music artist. An artist may be a painting artist. There's all different kinds of artists. And a musician is specifically a music artist. So what he did here is he's not even being clear on who he's calling out. Did a bad job of that, okay? And it's not clear, and he's trying to be direct, where he's pissing people off, okay? So here's what I would say. This is Chris, Smart Music Business. He's an independent music artist, sells his own music online independently, and that's one thing we did, which we also wrote an ad to sell his CDs. Yes, in 2018, 2019, he sells his CDs literally right through the Facebook newsfeed, okay? And we wrote that ad. Okay, Facebook featured him for that in their success stories. We'll show you that in a minute. But understand this. Most people try to just call out their audience. So he came to us with this ad. We didn't write this ad. Okay, this is one of the ads he came to us with. Okay, and what we did is the lead line only calls out who, but not anything about their challenges or aspirations. There's no other context set. No other context. Okay, so there's no pain point. Okay, no challenge. No specific benefit, no authority displayed. Now, he kind of did some in the subhead, learn how to get your music in front of over 1 million music lovers using this platform, Facebook. So he basically talked about getting your music in front of over 1 million people, which is kind of like a benefit, but what does that do for you, right? It's like it could be looked at as just a benefit, but that's about it, right? And that's in the subheadline. So you're already losing people, because understand that 80% of people, if the headline is right and good, they'll read it. But even out of those 80%, if the headline is perfect, only 20% are going to read the subheadline. People scan it that fast and they're like, oh, nope, not for me. Or, hey, that's for me, let me read the next line. And only 1 out of 5 is going to read that subheadline. So you're losing 80% of those people if your headline doesn't contain all these elements, okay? So see if that, let me know if that kind of makes sense so far in terms of context and how you need to have elements, like the right elements all inside your headline before you paragraph break, okay? Where you stack your headline up, all right? Let's see, do not know about that, Liz. Okay, so here's what happened. So we looked at his metrics for this particular ad, the same one that I just showed you, that this one on the left, right? So here's the ad metrics for this. You may not be able to see it, but I tried to blow it up. What I'm seeing here is there's two different things I want you to understand, and this is going to tell you a story about your ads. Your CTR all, right? That's how many clicks your ad gets altogether, whether that's clicks on the play button, clicks on the see more to read it, clicks on your comments, clicks on the learn more button, you know, even what a link click would be, it's counted as a click, right? So this CTR all means that he's getting about on average 2%, so 2 out of 100 clicking. And you know what? That's about average for a Facebook ad. About average. Yeah, but most ads burn out. Okay, most ads don't sustain long term on the Facebook ad platform. Okay, because they're not following the rules of engagement that we're going to be teaching you. So the other part about this is only half of them are clicking on the link, which that's okay. You know, average of 1%, CTR all of 2%. So that means they're clicking an average of twice, and then they are clicking once on the link. And so that means 2 out of 2 people are clicking to actually watch or click play on the video, and then 1 clicking the link, which is okay, but these people are very unqualified, okay? But that's only because he hasn't set very good context and he's not clear about his audience. It's only 2%, okay? So here's what happened. He had 2 unrelated data points. So if you see this chocolate chip cookie here, I wonder if that makes some of you hungry, is that what this is these data points, like this is the algorithm, okay? This is like a typical profile of a Facebook, you know, of a Facebook user, right? Everyone has a big profile, 400,000 plus data points, right? And so I want you to see this as a simplified version of that. So imagine if there's 400,000 different data points. What this ad did is that it's going to 2 unrelated people, 2 unrelated data points, artists, which could not be music artists, and then musicians, which are music artists. And so they're kind of going back and forth, and Facebook doesn't know whether to show it just to musicians or just to the artists, which is kind of a larger market because artists can be just about anything. And so they wrestle with each other, and so Facebook doesn't know who to show the ad to. So it continues to show it to people who are unqualified that may not even be musicians. Okay, so that's how important it can be. So this is what it causes. What that causes is when you don't set a lot of context right up front, the algorithm cannot create and look at all the common data points to help get a specific type of person that they want to show the ad to. The algorithm cannot optimize properly. And this is the mistake that most people do following traditional direct response marketing, which is they're very broad in their targeting, trying to cast a really wide net for as cheap as possible. So sure, you get the cheap leads, but they're not going to convert, so you're just wasting money, which equates to what you see here in the red is just wasted ad spend. All right, wasted ad spend. Okay. So what's important about this is, let's see. So real quick, this is how some advertisers that are really good, you know, like in terms of their product, this is how they short circuit themselves. You don't want to do an ad like this. Okay, you don't want to do an ad like this, which is 1 line or 2 lines, because like if I'm reading this, there's not enough there for me to understand why it's better than something else and why I should click on it. It didn't talk about why this is for me. It didn't talk about my specific pains or challenges. Okay, they're just saying a few things, being very specific, trying to get the cheapest click possible over to their site. And I'm telling you, these ads don't work very long because of it. Okay, so they'll run for a while, right? But they could be so much better, right? They could be so much better. The problem is why this type of marketing has not necessarily been used too much is simply because no one knows any different. No one knows any better than what this is, right? So you guys are going to see the difference here in a minute. So here's what I want you to understand, okay? So I showed you about the CTR all and the CTR link. That is what we call the click ratio. The click ratio helps us understand if people are actually consuming your content, okay? So like as an example, if your CTR all is 5.5% and your CTR link is 2.5, your click ratio is 2 to 1. This means they're clicking once to read or watch your ad, right? And once more to click the link, which is okay if it's an image ad, 2 to 1, right? But on a video ad, you want it to be more like 3 to 1 because there's 3 clicks that are going to happen. They're going to click play on your video for one, then they're going to click see more to read the rest of the text if it's longer, and it should be. And then the third click is going to be a link. So the overall, there's 3 clicks, which is what your CTR all is going to reflect. But your CTR link is going to be 1, right? So that should be 3 to 1 if it was a video ad. Well, here's what I want you all to understand. So some of you may have seen this ad. It's one of the ads we run that we bring you into this live training. And I want you to, don't worry about this up here yet, but I want to show you the click rates that come from having the proper elements within context and the right process or in the right formula to work, okay? So CTR all, 18.37. What was the CTR all for Chris? For this one, it was 2% on average, okay, 2%. For me, we've got 18, 19, 14, 14, 14, 12, 12. Like it's still like 5 to 9 times better than an ad that only has 2 out of 100 people. What this CTR all metric means is that there's 18, 19, 14, 14, like an average of about 15, 16 people out of 100 that are clicking on my ad, versus the 2 out of 100 that are clicking on an ad that's not contextually optimized. So right away, for probably the same cost or less, you can get 5 to 10 times more people to pay attention and watch your ad, to actually understand and look at it and go further into it, okay? So right away, you're getting 5 to 10 times more people looking at your ad for the same cost, if not less usually. Okay, so that's one big thing, right? If nothing else changed right away, that could cut your CPAs by a fifth, like by 4/5, right? So the link, look at that, 6.12, 5.88. So this one's a little off, but up here you can see it's more of a 3 to 1 ratio. Why is that? Because I've got a video, which they click play, that's 1 click. And they come up here and they click that little blue more, okay? Sometimes it says see more, sometimes it says more. That's your second click after they watch the video, which a lot of you did. Then you click more and you read the text. So that's 2 clicks. And then the third click is on the link. So that's a 3 to 1 ratio, okay? Now, sometimes 2.5 is okay because about half the time, if you have captions on your video, people won't actually click play. They'll just watch the video and read the captions. So we find about a 2.5 to 3 click ratio is somewhere in between 2.5 to 3 is the right CTR all that you want, or not necessarily the CTR all percentage, but the ratio itself. You want about 2.5 to 1 or 3 to 1, somewhere in between 2.5 to 3, right? So when you have those types of click ratios, that's when you know your ad is getting the right context, that your ad is getting the right consumption, that people are actually watching and reading, okay, which is super important. Helps you way pre-sell, pre-qualify, pre-filter people, okay? And you give much more value. So people are further along the continuum in terms of being able to buy. But here's what I want you to understand about setting context. So some of you are like, well, what about this contextual targeting thing? So for one, we target with our text, right? So we usually have less targeting, or at least larger audiences, okay? A lot of people say, do these small audiences? No, don't ever do that. Maybe when you start testing it first, but it's not gonna work long term. So what we do is we are very specific in our headline. Now look at this. So as a common bond, the common bond is like how you can relate with the audience that you're searching out, right? So I don't ask them directly. I'm like, hey, are you a business owner? No, I don't say that. I say, as a Facebook ad agency, okay, as a Facebook ad agency this year, which is like being relevant, right? Not from 10 years ago, as a Facebook ad agency. People who are running Facebook ads are usually going to listen to an agency because they can assume right away that if they're running Facebook ads, they have some experience. You may want to listen to what they have to say, okay? So that's my relatable common bond. What we have in common, right, is the Facebook ads. The next one is we have witnessed emotion, witnessed and sudden, which is like the emotion part, right? Witness, sudden. The pain, which is algorithm shifts. A lot of people talk about my ad was doing fine and then whatever happened, the ad doesn't work anymore, right? And they blame it on the algorithm. They blame it on Facebook rather than them, and not checking how much negative feedback they're getting, okay? But I have to meet them where they're at and what they understand. So as a Facebook ad agency, we too have witnessed sudden algorithm shifts. And here's what we've done to benefit. You see this down here? The benefit is right here, okay? And we fill in the blank with the benefit. And here's what we've done to get even better ROI for our clients, okay? Even better ROI for our clients. Even when challenged, even when everyone else is repeating the same mantra from years past, which the mantra is always, it's Facebook changes, Facebook ads don't work, it's the algorithm, it's not me, you can't trust it, Facebook ads don't work. And so we were addressing what the biggest challenges people come up with that they say about Facebook ads. We were addressing the pain point of what's the primary pain that people deal with running Facebook ads. We make sure to have our emotion and feeling in there, okay? Make it human. We make sure to relate with them, okay? So what we have here is the common bond, the emotion, the pain, the benefit, and the challenge. 5 elements. Now there's more elements, but I just want to introduce you to the 5 basic elements right here, okay? And that's how you get these types of click rates and click ratios. Like I said, CTR all of 2 is average. Mine here show like an average of all that stuff on like 8.45 if you look at all the ad sets on CTR all, which is 4 times better, 4.5 times better than the average on Facebook, okay? So this is what I want you to understand about setting context. I didn't call them out directly. I did not give them I didn't ask them a question. I'm using what's called a second person editorial voice, okay? Editorial voice. We're talking more as an editorial, like this is educational. We're giving them value. We're not trying to talk directly to them yet, okay? So what happens here? Here's what happens with the algorithm. When we have that much specificity, all of a sudden, Facebook can now go look at other things because we have these 5 elements, right? When you have these elements contained in here, that makes a more specific profile. And it's not just, 5 times better, it's like exponent, it's like 5 to the 5th power. Because when you include the pain and you include the benefit, that's 2 different things that are very related, right? So it makes a much more specific person than someone who just has the pain by themselves. Some of you will get that later. Not so important to understand yet, okay? But now that we have a lot of different data points, because we're being very specific to a person who has these specific pains and benefits and challenges, okay? And we're not being like a douchebag trying to be so direct and calling them out and invasive and annoying the heck out of them, okay? Which is a great way to start a relationship with your customers, right? Here's what happens. Here's what Facebook does. Excuse me. Now the algorithm can look for a similar profile. Because when they see the people that start clicking on this ad, because see right away, guys, the people they're going to start clicking, they read this and they click play or click see more. So I have 18, I have an average of like, a lot more people clicking my ad than say this ad up here that only 2 out of 100 people are clicking on. So the algorithm watches this and it can do it much faster and much faster, okay? Because of that, here's what happens. They can get this similar profile, they can build it much faster. So they optimize faster at being able to find the right person faster to show the ad to, resulting in less wasted money on the people that are not fitting this profile. Does that make sense? Okay. Carl, use Chris's program to get the 10,000 like. That's funny. That's cool. We wrote his ads and his Facebook Accelerator. We wrote ads for that, funny enough. So understand this. If you can define a person much more specifically, then now you're setting context to allow you to find those people, and you less wasted ad, you waste less money on going to the wrong people, because this algorithm starts to understand who to show the ad to much faster. Okay. Now what happens is they start showing it to very specific people, which is good, right? A more qualified person. And what happens is you have more of them convert on your landing page at a much higher rate. Now, a lot of you may actually say, or are, like if I asked you, what's the average rate of lead opt-in that people get on their opt-in pages? Well, a lot of you can tell me in the chat, right? Whatever you think it is, a lot of them will tell you there's a specific expected percentage. Yes, Alejandro, you're right about that, but even more, better than that. So understand that this percentage on average is, like, for lead opt-ins, about 20 to 30%. That's kind of like average for the industry average. Your gurus and trainers are going to tell you that 20 to 30% opt-in rate for a lead is average, that's good, that's what you should have. But when we do this and we get specific to the right person, there's not that much margin for error. So what I actually experienced, I'm going to show you a screenshot here. This is just from one of my last campaigns. This is inside my ClickFunnels account, which we use for our funnels, right? This is the opt-in rates because these people are super pre-qualified. Okay. 90%, 326 opt-ins there. Okay, that's just from one campaign. 80% on another one. Okay. Now, what that means is we're so much more specific that you're getting such better opt-in rates. And this is a part that even helps, like your cost per lead may actually go down because your opt-in rates are so much better, right? Because instead of having 1 out of 4, joining or opting in, you may have 2 or 3 out of 4 that are now opting in. Okay, you're getting better people at a higher rate. And what happens is, if your Facebook pixel, which it should be, is tracking on your landing pages, then Facebook watches how far these people go through your funnel. So if they're actually opting in at a higher rate, then Facebook is going to reward you with your engagement scores being higher because more people are moving through your funnel at a higher percentage. So it actually rewards you for that, which helps you in your auction. Your opt-in rate literally is one of the things that helps you bid in the auction, because it has to do with the experience of the user. How crazy is that? It's really crazy, right? No one thinks about this. Jay, don't worry about that. We'll get to it, okay? He's trying to align what you said about context to e-commerce ad with a specific product, because you're talking more about the, like, I'll just address this now, actually. So Jay, listen carefully. Whatever your product is, I want you to ask yourself, if you have a physical product, and you do this for any of you right now, period, in your offer, right? Whatever you're selling, doesn't matter. I want you to think about what's the main pain that people get or have that causes them to, what's the problem they have? If your product solves it, we're not talking about the product, we're talking about the problem they have, okay? If you have a physical product and you're like, well, it's a t-shirt, it's not necessarily like a pain, okay, that's fine. What's the main benefit they want to get out of it? What is it? It's not, hey, get this t-shirt because we're cool. It's, whatever the t-shirt's about. It's a good example. I helped write an ad a while back for a t-shirt that their whole t-shirt was about, like, being strong and masculine and overcoming all odds, right? And it was like certain brand, and they're like, I'm born in the mountains and built for the mountains, and we're mountain men, we're strong, right? So I started talking about those things in the ad, specifically about the benefits that we get, what people think of us. This is our life. This is what we believe, like all these things. And the ad works so much better than anything they've ever done. Okay. So it's not about, hey, get this coffee mug, or hey, get this supplement. It's about the pain that you experience from the supplement, which is why you want to have this, the benefit that you get from the supplement. You want to talk about those things, talk about the challenges that people have to achieving the desired result that they want, whether that's a supplement, a damn t-shirt, a coffee mug, a physical product, an online course, a local business, local service, coaches and their specific proprietary ways of teaching you, coaching you through stuff to have a certain result. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Okay, but I want you guys to understand that. That's where I want you to start thinking about this. Okay. This is fabulous info, hard to tear away. Right on, Stefan. You might want to just stick around and cancel whatever you have. It's worth it. So here's the thing, guys. All right. So I'm going to show you a few quick examples. All right. And then I'm actually going to give you guys our offer early. Okay. For those of you who want to just pick it up. Okay. So here's another one, right? So common bond again. This was very broad to people, but it worked, right? This was one of our clients, Anton. He had a course on how to connect with influencers. Could an introverted college dropout, okay, that's the common bond, which anyone can relate. Like, a lot of people can relate to college dropouts, right? Even if you're not one. See that? Anybody wants to hear about a college dropout be able to triumph in life. And that's what the ultimate benefit really is triumph in life. Can a college dropout triumph in life? After pain, okay, after being misled by his guidance counselor, okay, so being misled is the pain, right? By his guidance counselor is the challenge, for years. Just put a time frame here, right? That's one of the other elements you can use. Look at these click rates. It's a perfect 3-to-1 ratio, just about 10.74 to 3.85. Okay, that's about setting the proper context. So now most of you, your average is 2% CTR all on an ad. And so you may get 3 or 4, right? But this is 10. And this is also a 7-minute video, and he tells a story with long copy. Okay. So what they did here is they read this up top, and then they decided to click play and then click more for the third click, or for the second click, to read the rest of the copy, and then click the link was the third click. So it's basically a 3-to-1 ratio. The ratio is what matters. If you have a 1-to-1 click ratio where your CTR all is 2 and your CTR link is 2, then that means they're not clicking play, or they're not clicking see more, and they're not consuming your content. They're literally just clicking the learn more button below, which means they're not pre-qualified. They're not pre-filtered. They haven't watched the video to see if you're their type of person. They haven't been sorted through, so they're not that qualified. And those people clicking actually don't allow the algorithm to optimize. Why? Because the algorithm doesn't have enough specific data to go off of. Because someone who doesn't read through all this stuff, they're not pre-qualified, so there's not like a specific set of data points. There may be some, right? But nothing compared to after they watch your video and read the text. Once they do that, then they're much more qualified to click. So that's how the algorithm will optimize. But if they don't do those things, then you'll have a lot of different data points that are unrelated. And because of that, the algorithm will never be able to get a clear picture. And if it does, it'll take way longer to get that clear profile. Remember this? It'll take way longer to get that profile if they don't click or read or consume your content or be educated by you. Okay, it'll never get here. It'll just stay in this land up here where it can't define enough common data points between everybody who's clicking to be able to do that. Okay, so I know it's a little counterintuitive, but here's what we did for digital marketer. This one worked really, really well. They ran it for a long time after we left. How we turn a one-hit wonder campaign, that's the pain, a one-hit wonder campaign that works once, right, into ideal scenario benefit, which is into a customer factory. Customer factory, it's kind of the metaphor, customer factory. You can all understand what that is, right? That ultimate benefit, and that ultimate benefit is that endlessly generates new customers and repeat buyers. So that's the ultimate benefit, endlessly generates new customers and repeat buyers. Without the challenge, without being in perpetual testing mode. And that's the challenge that a lot of people have to always overcome, right? So that's just another one. just to give you an idea of setting proper context, right? So here's what we did for a real estate agent. Here's how homeowners avoid owning 2 homes at once or even being homeless when their transaction goes off the rails in a buyer's market. Our guaranteed sale program fixes this. So here's the formula. Here's how common bond homeowners avoid the pain, which is owning 2 homes at once or even being homeless, which that can happen when you're trying to sell your home and buy another one at the same time, and one of them falls through. When their transaction goes off the rails in a buyer's market, becomes challenge. Mechanism becomes challenge, right? So of course our formulas become when mechanism becomes challenge, but we basically substitute the words, when transaction mechanism goes off the rails. We basically replaced becomes with goes off the rails in a buyer's market. And the challenge is a buyer's market. It becomes, goes off the rails. When their transaction goes off the rails, it's essentially the challenge. So our benefit guaranteed sale program fixes this. So personally, Justin was generating leads at like $200 to $300 per lead. When we wrote this ad for him and we set it out the gate, $20 leads. So we cut it by 9/10. All from setting the proper context. Now this is a long copy ad, so it worked really, really well, okay? But I want you to understand these things, okay? So one of the questions I got here earlier on, I want to address real quick too, is someone said, wait, so we don't target people inside our Facebook, our interest targeting, like we don't target them? Yes, you do. Okay, but let me be clear about this. When you give the algorithm a larger audience to play with, then when you have more specific data points, it needs a larger audience of a pool to pick from. If you constrain and restrain that audience to a small size, then there's only a certain amount of people in that audience that are going to fit those data points. And so very quickly, your ad may burn out or your frequencies will go very high. So what I'm saying is your ad can work better with larger audiences, which is diametrically opposed to what most people tell you about Facebook ads. Most of them will tell you that you want to be very laser targeted and be very specific with your audiences. No, you don't. You want to be specific with your headlines and let Facebook go find the right people. Let the algorithm do the heavy lifting for you. You just need to include those people in your audiences. Let me give you an example. Most of our ads go between 5 million and 20 million in audiences. And when we're really starting to roll, we're at 30 million or 40 million or 50 million. And sometimes we even do no targeting when we've created a lot of conversions and our pixel now has a better idea because so many people have converted. We've made a lot of conversions and it knows who to go look for anyway. So we open it wide open with no targeting. And in most cases, it works well. Now, if you try to do that right out of the gate with unproven ads, probably not going to work too well, okay? So I'm not saying to not do any targeting. I'm saying to do targeting, but you need to group those interests and audiences together into a larger audience size, okay? A lot of you try to do like 100,000, 200,000, you need millions, okay? And two, if you are at some point doing really well, you can do what we call broad audience no targeting, okay? Now here's a good example of this. Roderick from our, he's in our group, right? Owns our product, uses our formulas and checklists. So he had 2 audiences that were called broad audience no targeting. Now, broad audience no targeting, they call BANT. It's an acronym for broad audience no targeting, B-A-N-T, broad audience no targeting, right? So we call them BANTs when we refer to them. That's agency speak, right? So he's showing me, here he is with a BANT up top, it's checked in blue. And then the second one from the bottom is also a BANT. Some of you may not be able to read that. I know it's kind of small, right? I'll try to make this as big as possible. But what he has here is he's got 3 other ad sets in between that have specific interests. So they're much smaller audiences. But I want you to pay attention to the click rates and click ratios. So on his BANT up top, he's got 14.51% on a CTR all. So that means 14.5 out of 100 are actually clicking. And on his BANT below, which is just an age group of 18 to 39, his age group up top on that 14.5% is 40 to 65 plus. So this is just separated by 2 different age groups in one country all inside a country, 18 to 39, 7.76 CTR all. Well, when you look at the other three inside of here, these are all interests. Look at the CTR alls are 6.2, 5.08, 4.49. They're all significantly less than the BANTs. Same exact ad, same exact post ID. So the same post ID has the same exact social proof and comments on all of these ads. Same exact ad, right? And that makes the difference in the targeting. So oftentimes what I'm saying and what you can learn from this is you may be restraining the algorithm from being able to go find the right people when you don't have a large enough audience. And your ad will burn out faster because it's a smaller audience to choose from. Now, some of you are going to say, well, what about a local business? I'm restrained by that particular market. Well, what I would say is oftentimes you do want to do just like a mile radius and not try to add any interests in, okay? So you just open it wide up. And so sometimes you're not going to be able to go to large audiences, but that's okay. Your contextual ads are going to reach more people per 100 anyway. So these things work better anyway, okay? So as a local business, they're still going to reach way more people per 100 because now you're being much more contextual and relevant to them, okay? So I'm gonna take a quick glance here. Matt, we good on everything here? I got Slack open too, just in case here. Can you let me know anything? Okay. Yeah, so I just saw that come up. How would this broad targeting work for local business in rural areas? Is it worth reaching far beyond our local area to let Facebook find the audience? No, like I would do a certain, area and a little bit on the fringe on the outside of your area, but not much. And the algorithm is going to read that context and go find the people as best it can that show the ad to, okay? And you'll find that it works. It still works really well. I'm going to see if I can find some examples here that we'll use in like one of our next ones. You guys have access to that. So I asked Roderick, I was like, hey, he was telling me, in the chat, the broad audience, no targeting, so no reason won't just keep going. He said, yep, two different ad sets, no targeting, the top and the second from the bottom. He's like, yeah. So he's just confirming for me everything I was explaining to you up here. Just wanted to let you know so that you could see that this is real, this works, okay? So when you have lots of context, when you have ads like this, that set lots of context right from the jump, then all of a sudden now the algorithm qualifies the prospect so Facebook's machine learning process can find more qualified users. So what it means is you're not wasting your ad spend on unqualified people anymore. You've effectively showed the algorithm and told them who to go find. And it's getting better and better by the day. Instead of your ad costs continuing to go up high, right? They may go up high after a couple days because that's kind of just the way the algorithm is. It kind of goes to the low-hanging fruit first and it converts really well. So it'll go up a little bit, but then what happens is it dials in over time, and that cost per acquisition of your ad usually stays steady and slowly decreases over time because it gets better and better and better at learning who the exact person is that they need to show the ad to. So what this does is gives you qualified traffic, better qualified prospects, less wasted ad spend, higher conversion rates, sustainable ads, and it gives you a foundation to start scaling. Unless you're in a local market, then you still can scale because now you have better relevant ads. You just can't do it at a scale like someone can when they have like the whole country or the world to be able to sell something digital or physical, right? But hey, make no mistake about it. For a local business, this context setting works very, very well because the people that did not resonate with you before, that did not respond, will now start responding to you. So these formulas and frameworks are just as important for you as a local business owner. Understand? Make sense? Okay. So, well, that's a good one. So for example, if I sell clothes for babies, should I target parents and interests or just include the keywords in the context and leave target open? So Jay Garcia, that's a very good question. And I'm gonna hit this for a quick second, right? Is you can target just parents. Yes. All right. And you would also want to try different things. I'm not saying not to target the same people, but I'm saying to target more of them, more of these, so that you have a larger audience. Okay. and then leave the target open? Not necessarily, unless you've already done it with large audiences and it works well. And that means your pixel has been trained to understand what data points to show your ad to. So then you can try leave the targeting wide open. But I want you to first test it with some audiences. What I'm saying is you want to start with larger audiences. So you still want to do the targeting, but you don't want to be as specific. You want to be broader and large. Make sense, Jay Garcia? All right, cool. Cool. All right, so here's one example. Robin came in the course and he's like, honestly, I'm amazed by the course. That's a lead magnet campaign and a pre-launch setup, 63% conversion rate on the landing page. I've never seen that, right? So you see, if you can see it here, 17.2%, 16.95%, 15.96%, 21.08. That's the CTR alls, right? So that means 17, 16, 15, 20, like his average, let's just be realistic. The average on the bottom here says 14.25. So that's 14 out of 100 that are now showing up, that are now clicking on the ad and interacting. And then let's look at the link click percent, right? 6%, 6.37, 5.88, 8.09. So on average, it's 5% link click-through rate. So that's 5 out of 100 are actually clicking the link. Well, guess what? That's a 14.25 to 5 ratio. That's basically a 3-to-1 ratio, because 15 to 5 would be a perfect 3-to-1 ratio. He's got 14.25. Close enough, right? So 63% conversion rate on the landing page. Now, remember what we talked about. Some of you, you've been taught that 20 to 30% is really good. And I say that's complete crap. And I would say when you do this right, you should always be over 50% if you're generating leads on a lead opt-in page, always. And don't stop optimizing your ad and testing elements until you do get over 50%. Because it tells me that you're not using the primary elements if you're not getting over 50%, okay? So, all right, Jay Garcia, you're welcome. So that's one. Now here's what I'm gonna do, guys. So some of you here kind of get like how powerful this is. And a lot of you here can probably understand already how much better this is going to be. So what I'm gonna say here is our offer, which has all of these formulas, not just headline formulas, but like a full long copy, like fill in the blank ad templates. That's what our offer essentially is. It's all of our ad templates that are derived from our best converting ads. So that particular methodology is a fill in the blank style, right? So our course helps you find those elements and then fill in those blanks using long copy ads that help you pre-qualify and pre-sell and pre-filter the right people for your ads. So people get right inside the group, they learn the first few modules on how to apply those templates, they go in and use the templates, place their ads, and these are the types of results we get all the time. Okay, you're gonna see a ton more of them here as we go through. But what I want you to understand is, if you want this offer, we're gonna put it in the chat here. Matt, you can go ahead and drop those links in the chats. If you guys want to take advantage of that, we have a payment plan in there as well. And I would say it's probably the best course right now that's completely evergreen, that we continue to update and add more templates to as they work. And I would say that there's nothing else like this on the planet. No one else gives these type of long copy ad templates to help you write ads, not just your headlines, but all the way through, that are proven to convert, okay? Plug and play, all right? So if you all want that link's in the chat for you. But we're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep getting another hour here or a little less and get through this stuff. But for those of you who are ready and want to go ahead and get started and join us, we've got a Facebook group. We've got all kinds of support for you. And we're gonna keep going, okay? Because here's the other concept I want you to understand. The engagement continuum, the customer journey from click to sale. Here's what you're taught. You're taught to do a short quick ad with short copy, 1 or 2 lines, sometimes 3 to 4 if they're kind of savvy. Still a joke. And then to send them to an opt-in page that has very little text, because they're trying to get you to get through and opt in through curiosity. Well, the Facebook algorithm hates that, because what is Facebook like? They value the user experience over any money that they get from you. They got plenty of money, they got plenty of advertisers. So they don't care about your money or getting you conversions. They care about user experience. And if people are having a bad experience, they're not going to continue to show your ad. So what happens is, when you have these simple minimalistic pages that don't give a lot of value, people are not having a good experience, and they don't opt in at a very high rate, which tells Facebook this ad is not working very well. We're going to score it lower with its relevance scores, with its engagement scores, with its experience scores. All of those scores are going to be lower, and all of a sudden now your ad is not getting premium placement in the algorithm and in the auction. So it's not going to go to good people that are qualified. Okay, but this is what most people do. They try to get the cheapest possible click and then let their sales message and email do all the heavy lifting, which is ridiculous when you have an algorithm that can do all of the heavy lifting for you, much better than you, because it makes hundreds of thousands of calculations per minute on who the ad should go to. So if you do a lot of that on the platform, Facebook sees you as having a better user, giving a better user experience, giving value, and educating someone on why they should buy your product. And then you can send them to your landing page, whether it's a cart page, a sales page, doesn't matter. This is just like examples for you, right? This is one that goes direct to sale. We have one of those ads I'm going to show you in a minute. And then we also have, you know, a newsfeed long ad that goes to an opt-in. And then understand, like, your offer doesn't have to be so intense. You don't have to hire a professional copywriter, because it's not about that at that point. You can create a simpler offer that's not so hard-nosed, that's not salesy, that's not greasy, that you're not trying to manipulate people or coerce people by trying to eke out another 0.5% conversion. Screw that. Just bring better people in. You're going to see this works a lot better. It's the same thing as what I did, guys. Like, so webinar, right? So my video is 20 minutes. My video is 20 minutes in the news feed. Now, how many of you have heard that you should keep your video to 15 seconds? Yeah, right? A lot of you have heard that you're supposed to only do 15-second ads, video ads. Well, you know whose agenda that serves? Serves Facebook. Because then they can show more ads and make more money that way. Because if someone has a long ad that's, you know, 10, 20 minutes like mine is, do you know how many 15-second videos they could fit into 20 minutes? They have to like send back, like, that means that they could have had like 60 more ad impressions. But if people sit and read mine, then they can't show those other 60 ad impressions. But here's the thing. Some of you may know this. The actual percent of people that finish watching videos on Facebook, you know what the average is? It's about 4%. So 4 out of 100 will watch 95% or more of your video. Okay? And you know what? The average video length is 15 seconds, because a lot of people listen to what Facebook tells them to do. I, for one, don't, because they have their own agenda, right? Love them, but I have my own, right? What happens is, my 20-minute video, I still have a 4% completion rate. Most people are getting that on 15 seconds. So here's my question to you. Ask yourself this. Is someone just as pre-qualified by watching a 15-second video as they are by watching a 20-minute video? Now, clearly, a 20-minute video is going to give you a chance to educate them, demonstrate things, make things a lot better, clearer, educate them, give value, pre-qualify, and pre-filter somebody, right? So you could argue that if you can have the same amount of people that watch a 15-second video, watch a 20-minute video, what's that going to help you with? Well, clearly, my opt-in rates, as I've shown you for this campaign, were 90%. Not 20 to 30%. And I'm still getting the same amount of people watching my 20-minute video as other people watch 15-second videos. Why is that? because of our epic formulas, because I followed my formula inside my video, but I'm also giving real value and it's relevant to the right person. And I set the right context in my headline so it's showing the ad to the right people who are more likely to watch my video. So I basically told you the big idea, the main idea of all of these things in my 20-minute video. Did I not? Right? I did. And then I'm bringing you to a webinar where I'm giving you the other half and going deeper on all of that and proving all of that, okay? And then I don't have to do all this hard selling. You guys, like those of you, it's very self-evident by this moment, you're like, wow, there's nothing like this. We get this all the time, especially in our group. I'll show you some of that. But it's nothing like anything else out there, okay? So this is the concept. And so many people short circuit themselves by trying to do short ads and then make this long drawn out sales message and write some sales letter that nobody's gonna read these days because attention spans are too short, okay? Yeah, Eddie, 1 minute. No, you're not. It's not really the case. 15 seconds is the average. So whoever told you that is misinformed, all right? So look, they told me this. I'm gonna show you, look, this right here, Facebook Austin, Texas. That's their ads division. So we got a private tour, not a private tour, we got a group tour when we got certified with Facebook or with an entity associated with Facebook to be a Facebook ad agency. And we walked through there and I asked them these questions, and literally right there, they were telling me these numbers and they were saying, so we recommend that you do only 15-second videos. And me and Irina were looking at each other and we're like, that's freaking crazy. Because I already had my ad working with longer videos working so well. And I'm like, they don't know any better. Wow, right? It's total crap. Okay, so this is the concept. So in order to do this, you need to be able to not screw this up in giving more value and education. You need to do it in the right way that helps make, follows through on a decision-making process, right? So here's this. Here's Kim. Some of you saw my email where I talked about Kim and how she was making sales to a $9 front-end offer, okay? It was called the content calendar system. And that content calendar system was just teaching people how to like create new content, get ideas for it, create a posting schedule and all that stuff, right? We were going direct to sale in the newsfeed. And so I checked in with her after we wrote the ad about 6 months later. Actually, this was days after we wrote the ad for her last year. Hey, Chris, I want to say thank you again for all the incredible insight. Stuff is life-changing. Chris and I are beyond grateful and excited to go to town this week to implement all of it. Chris is her husband. By the way, in less than 24 hours, we're already getting $4 sales to our front-end offer from an ice-cold audience and a few upsells, 2 from the ad you guys wrote for us. Hashtag winning, right? So that's me blowing up what she emailed me, right? So where is it at? $4.17 per purchase, okay? Only 4 at the time. Now the cost went up a little bit, but it still did so much more for her because then, that's just the end of the email. And I haven't even changed it to the sales page yet, right? You tell I'm excited? Awesome. So then I check in with her 6.5 months later. Thanks so much for checking in. So sorry for the late response. The ad you guys wrote for us is ridiculous. Okay. We've only had to update the creative 1 time. We've experienced, the growth we've experienced has been way more than I could have hoped for. Still implementing all the awesome changes you guys suggested, but even completely optimized the funnel, we've gone from 275 members to almost 900 members in the business lounge. What is this real life? Now, that's not the offer. That 900 members, that's her upsell. That's her $50 a month, recurring $50 a month membership. So here's what actually, continuing on, right? 275 members, so I had to cut the email in half, but I included some of the top text so you can see it's the same email, right? 275 members and almost 900. Since September, we've had 6,610 orders on the intro offer. That's that $9 offer that she was making for $4, right? We've 4x'd our maximum recurring revenue. That's what MRR stands for, to close to 40,000 a month, and we're consistently hitting 50 to 60,000 K a month in profits. So that front end $9 offer, she's made 6,000 and way more now. It's like 7, 8, 9,000 now. But from this email a couple months ago, 6,610 orders on the intro offer. I don't know about you, but how many people taking the upsell went from 275 members in her bread and butter to 900 in her upsell. Okay. And these people continue to pay every month. They were so much better pre-qualified by this ad that they increased their conversion rates so much higher. And so many more people were taking that $49 a month recurring membership. Had to hire a new support person because we're experiencing so much growth. Thank you so much for all your help. You guys have changed my business in every possible way. Couldn't be more grateful to you and Irina, the entire North Node team, all the amazing advisors. So how would you like to see this ad real quick? Let me show you this ad. This ad, by the way, we are almost finished with having a template for inside of the course that we're offering you today. So let me make this a little bigger. So look at you may recognize the formula, right? How my content calendar system takes content creators from endless brainstorm mode to routinely rolling out hard-hitting content without creating new stuff every day. After managing over 200 social media profiles, 17 blogs, and training 7,276 entrepreneurs, I found the single biggest roadblock they face is being able to organize a system that routinely rolls out highly engaging content. So see how long this is? This is all a part of our epic process. This is going to be a fill-in-the-blank ad for a lot of you that are trying to sell a front-end $9 offer, and you just have to replace the elements in it with what's relevant to your offer. This will help you understand maybe why your offer is not working as well, because there's certain things that you need to fill in, and it'll help you go, oh, I need to have that in here. That'll make my offer better. So you can see how long this is. We literally even put the price inside the ad. Why do we do that? Because Facebook is checking everyone who clicks these links. And if someone reads this and they're clicking that link, then that means they're okay with that $9 offer more than likely. And so because of that, the person who's clicking is much more likely to buy at a higher rate. So Facebook now gets to optimize seeing all the people that are clicking the link and going, these are the types of people that we want to go after because they all have a similar data profile because they're super qualified. Can you see now that once you pre-qualify the right person and you bring them through your ad, how Facebook can now optimize for people just like them even better? Let me know in the chat if you understand that. Okay, so hey, just a quick shout out to Chi Young, purchased our code to conversions, our offer. Right on. Welcome to the family. Looking forward to seeing you in the Facebook group. All right, so here's what this is, guys. So I'm gonna give you a quick overview. Actually, I'm gonna just show you, like, this went to a sales page. So it didn't just go to a cart page. This one went to her sales page. And it was just kind of simple, like, you know, and it made the offer. Boom. Right? It's that simple. So we didn't take away from what the sales message already was, but we put a lot more of it in the newsfeed in a fashion that helps them make decisions. So let me show you that decision-making process. The Epic Ad Formula, okay? The Epic Ad Formula is our process, it's an acronym that stands for these 4 words. Engage, which means to engage with proper context. Present, which means to present the problem and empathize. Illustrate, which means to illustrate the solution. And C, convert, call to action, okay? So what that essentially means is, you want to take these elements, right? Include these elements in your engage. That's just your headline and your subheadline up top in your text, okay? Just like we did, showed you that. Then the next part is you empathize by walking them through their main painful scenario. okay, so that they understand that you understand. And then the meat of the ad is the illustrate. Walk them through a process that illustrates your solution. You know, if you're selling a physical product, you may want to demonstrate what the physical product does, or you need to show a video of people using that product where they get the benefit they're looking for. Sometimes it's just the image of the product, okay? But your illustrator is going to walk them through or talk them through, make the argument for why they need that product, okay? We'll talk more about that in the next trade secret. And then the convert, which is revealing your offer, being transparent about it, okay? And then justify the value, reverse the risk, and give your link. So you saw all of that in Kimberly's. You know, we did this whole, here's the value, give the offer, justify it, give the guarantee, and all of that here, okay? All that's done here. So, quick. Some of you remember Chris. We showed his ad really bad at the beginning, right? The really bad one that was like, that's not the type of ad you want, okay? We didn't write it, he did. So he came to us and we wrote an ad even for his compact disc, his physical CD in 2018, 2019, guys, okay? Physical CD still selling on Facebook. And Facebook never saw anybody that was able to do that through their newsfeed. And I wrote that ad, we did that. So they literally, as you can see here, gave him a success story featured on Facebook, okay? His return on ad spend was almost 1.9. He experienced a 25% increase in music streaming services like Spotify, Pandora, and Apple Music, and YouTube Music, right? And a ton more customers, right? So that's one. But I want you to understand also what we did here. So Chris, we wrote an ad for him selling his course called Spotify Profits, which was teaching other music artists how they can sell their music on Spotify. So what I did is, you can see here the same thing happened, right? Right here. Bring to the front. So why getting paid for your online streams is 10 times easier than trying to sell your album from stage, and how you can get paid every time fans listen to your song. Setting perfect context using a headline formula we have inside our course. We sent it straight to a cart page, straight to a checkout page. So it was a 7-minute video where he was talking about why they need this product. We put the video in the newsfeed and we used that same video on the landing page, as you can see, okay? So all we did was the video, his branding, the name of the course, the deliverables of what they get inside the course, and then the value, and justified it. We made the offer $37. And we were making sales, as you can see here at the bottom, we were making sales for $24. So basically we were making about 12.5 bucks profit, $12.24 profit per sale. Direct to front end, not even going to a lead, okay? Now, we don't always do that, but I'm giving you an example of how much easier it is to sell right through the newsfeed if you want to. These same concepts apply in selling a physical product, a local business, or lead generation, or whatever else you're trying to get them to do, okay? So we have this particular template from this ad available for you guys today. It's called the direct to sale template, and it's the one that we're giving away for free. If you stick around to the end after we give you the offer, you guys will get access to that. You'll stick around for the instructions, okay? I'm not going to give that to you early until after you hear our offer. Well, he also had, which is smart, is he had a $97 one-time offer upsell. So about 20-something% took that upsell every time, so almost 1 out of 5. What that turned out to be is every time we paid 24 bucks to make a sale, he made 37 from the front end, but then it averaged out to be more like 60 bucks a sale when a certain portion of them took the upsell. So just spending 24 bucks, making 60 bucks every time, okay? That's what is possible when you know how to do this through the newsfeed. And it's not just about making sales. Like some of you have high ticket products. That's okay. You can use that to optimize for appointments, for phone calls, to have them go to a webinar, whatever the case may be. This psychology and methodology is the same, okay? So I want to show you this ad real quick and how long it is, right? So it's the same thing. We used Epic, same thing. So I want to show you here. Basically, the engage was this headline. And then we went into the present. It's no secret, most people don't buy CDs like they used to, but they do stream music all day. What if I told this works to your advantage? So we went into the present. And then we went into the illustrate. Illustrate what they get. And then the convert, which is the bonuses, value justification, risk reversal, call to action, all that. 4 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So this worked all day long. Very well. This is the template that you get. Okay. This you'll see here. I'll show you guys at the end what this template looks like. But the template you're getting for free is the one that is derived from this ad. Okay. So let's see here. Chris is just hilarious. If you're an idiot if you don't hire Chris. I'm not even looking to be hired, and he's doing that. So, but we do consult him now. We don't run his ads anymore. We consult him, and then of course he says every time I get off the phone or meet in person, I make money. What else does he need to hear? Because I was asking him to talk to one of our prospective clients. Kind of funny, right? So, guys, Chuck in the group went inside our group. He says right away, this training is ridiculous. This client was getting these leads between $18 and $24 and was happy with that. I made these last night. They're targeting financial advisors to sell leads and training. I'm using the same lead magnet with the same opt-in page. Only the ad copy is different. Cost per action, per lead. See the lead, 17. Cost per lead, $2.59. As opposed to getting $18 to $24 leads, now getting $2.59 leads and much more pre-qualified. Game changer. His client loves him. That's the type of stuff that's possible. Okay. So that's inside our course. We call it Code to Conversions. And you have fill in the blank templates. We have like 22 different headline formulas, our 18 social rules of engagement. We have a storytelling module, which has storytelling stuff to help you tell your story or tell a story about something, right? Because you can sell through stories really well. We have that. We have a troubleshooting, optimization, setup, and testing module. Shows all that, right? So that's available in the chat for you, Matt. If you want to post that in there again, any of you that want to get that's available now. So if you want to pick that up and join us, that's there. Okay. So let's go to the last trade secret, guys. So creating prospects out of thin air. We call this casting your pole in blue oceans. So some of you may have heard of that book, Blue Ocean Strategy, and that's kind of where we come from with this. But where this really came from was Eugene Schwartz. Eugene Schwartz wrote a book back in the 60s called Breakthrough Advertising. And the man had concepts that didn't even have names yet, but he had to name it because he was the one that came up and invented the concept. That's how smart he was. So this is what he had. He created a framework, which you see here, called the 5 states of awareness. Okay, unaware of the problem or the solution. Someone's totally unaware of the problem they have, so they're not usually your market. Problem aware, but not of the solution. So they're aware they have a problem, but they don't know the solution to it. The next one down is solution aware. There's someone who's aware of the solution, but not of you and your product that is the solution, right? Well, I'm going to go through some details here in a moment. Just want to kind of bullet this out for you. The next one is you're product aware, but not sold. So they're aware of your product, but they're not completely sold. So that's another level of awareness. And then the last one is they're pretty much sold. They just need the right price and terms. They need the deal, right? So what does this mean, right? So let's say we sell a supplement. Like we have a client of ours that we're selling a supplement, which is an e-com ad going direct to sale, which that's going to be back in our course very soon too. So how to sell a supplement literally right to a Shopify store. Okay. So that's going to be added there really soon. But let's look at the awareness level of that. So the supplement is it's basically a gut cleansing kit to help you cleanse your gut. So it's all these botanical herbs that help you cleanse your gut. And the problem is for people who obviously are dealing with what we know as leaky gut. Leaky gut, most people don't know. It's like 80% of Americans have some form of it or not due to the crappy food that we eat and we overeat. So leaky gut is what's also known as increased intestinal permeability or something like that, right? So essentially, it's a problem because it causes all these things: headaches, fatigue, dizziness, nausea, low energy, all that. So, breakouts, eczema, like the list goes on, right? But most people don't know they have that problem. So in our ad, we start with people who are unaware of the problem. And we basically say, look, here's the warning signs of leaky gut: fatigue, dry skin, headaches, nausea, and antacids, always using antacids, whatever that is, gas, whatever it is, right? And someone goes, oh, wow, that's a problem? I didn't know that was a problem. I thought that was normal. Okay, so they were unaware that it was even a problem. But then we make them aware of the problem. We say, yeah, this means you could have a form of leaky gut. Let us educate you on what leaky gut is, and then help you understand how you can fix it. So the ad goes into, here's how leaky gut works. So that's probably why you are having the headaches or the low energy or fatigue and all of that, right? My brain fog, not able to focus well. And so you may have all these things. But then here's the botanicals that you want to put in your system that clean that out and make leaky gut disappear. So now you're educating them about the solution. It's all these botanicals, okay? So they've gone from, wow, that's a problem. So they went down to problem aware, okay, but not of the solution yet because you just told them about leaky gut. Then you educated them about the botanical extracts that you use that actually cleanse your gut and help heal leaky gut. So now they're aware of the solution, which are the botanical extracts, okay? But they're not aware of your product yet. So then we say, and we took all these botanical extracts and combined them all into one supplement, so you can take just one supplement along with a cool tea that you drink, which helps intensify or make it even better and smoother, when you release it, right? So now you're like, here's what we've got. We took all that. You could go buy all these separately, but we've put it all into one solution for you that you can buy right away. So now they're aware of your product, but not sold yet. So then you say, normally you'd have to buy all these supplements and botanical extracts separately, and some of them are really hard to get, especially good quality ones, and they'd cost you this much by themselves. But we buy them in bulk and we source them from natural places, high quality, put them all into one, and we're offering this to you at this price. Boom. They're sold, they just need the exact price. Okay? So that's the continuum of the states of awareness that people go through. Okay? Now, not everybody's product is something that starts at unaware of the problem. If you're selling iPhones, right, then the problem is that someone can't communicate with, their loved ones from anywhere in the world. Well, everyone knows that the way you solve that is with an iPhone or with a cell phone, right, or Galaxy S5 or whatever, right? So what I'm saying is most of your products can be at least problem aware. And some of them are only solution aware, like phones and things like that, like commodities, right? But most of you can step back and go more to problem aware and educate somebody right inside your newsfeed on how it's the solution. Understand this. This ad for Kimberly and what we did here, okay? This is doing all of that. This is educating them on how this works, how this process works, how you can be better, faster, more efficient. And then we put it all together into a little $9 kit for you so you can go use it. So we educated them about the solution. So that's super important to understand, is that most gurus and Facebook advertiser trainers, right? They teach you to only market here. Solution aware. They're teaching you to only go to those people. They're like, yeah, these other people are not your market. They're not your market because you can't target them specifically. They're not, the problem aware people may not be looking for your ad. They especially don't ever teach about this. Certain copywriters understand these 5 states of awareness, but a lot of them have not been able to pull this off successfully. Okay, so So get this. You've been lied to because most of your trainers tell you to target very specifically with small audiences to people who are already aware of your products. And in fact, that's where everyone else is playing. So it gives you like the red ocean effect, right? Now, solution aware, that's okay, right? We have templates for solution aware because the important thing at solution aware is to differentiate yourself from others. So although it is a better deal to go into the blue oceans where the water's not red, where there's blood in the water, where there's all the sharks like it is at solution aware, right? Everyone's trying to sell a t-shirt, right? That's the solution. It's a t-shirt. But here, people have problems and you're able to educate them about the solution. Now you're valuable to them, okay? Or you made them aware of a problem they didn't know they had and you offered the solution. This is where you literally create new people, new prospects, and new customers out of thin air because they didn't have that problem before, okay? Your other ad trainers will tell you to go to people who are already suffering from leaky gut, like at Problem Aware. Or say, look, here's the supplement that you need for leaky gut, presupposing that the thing to fix it is a supplement with these extracts. But if you understand how to go back and educate someone about your problem or meet them at their problem, which is still a lot of products you can do, then it's not so competitive. See, that's what I did. I'm talking to people who have the problem of Facebook ads and not making them work, and talking specifically to what they think is the problem, which is the algorithm, that it's Facebook's problem. Facebook ads don't work. And I'm saying the actual problem is your messaging and not setting proper context and not working with the algorithm. Let me educate you as to why. Now you're solution aware. Now you know the solution is different. And I can say, and here's my product for that, which is our formulas, templates, checklists, all that, right? So let's recap this real quick in terms of what you do, okay? So some of you may want to write this down. If you've got a product that there are people that are unaware of the problem and the solution, what you need to do is show them that they have a problem first, okay? And then show them what life can be like without the problem. And then you make sure to educate them about the solution, okay? But first you have to educate them about the problem. So you get agreement so that they agree with you, okay? So once you've got them aware of the problem, or you may be meeting somebody for the first time here at Problem Aware, right? Like as a chiropractor, someone's like, I have back pain. That's my problem. I don't know the solution. I don't know if I should take pills. I don't know if I should get surgery. I don't know if I need a physical therapist. I don't know if I need yoga. I don't know if I need a chiropractor for spinal manipulation. I don't know what it is. But if you're a chiropractor, you're going to meet them on here's how we, alleviate back pain. There's spinal manipulation, which is the #1 cause of back pain, which causes your muscles to get sore and all this stuff. You just literally use your expertise as to what your product is and explain to them the solution. So here, for someone who has back pain, you would be meeting them at their back pain and educating them as to why chiropractic care and spinal manipulation is the best therapy for their back pain. Not a pill or not something else, okay? A lot of chiropractors don't do that, by the way. So then you get to solution aware. USP stands for your unique selling proposition. So this is when you get to solution aware, what you have to focus on is differentiation. So you have to create a well-formed argument for why your solution is the best solution out of all the solutions that's offered. So if you're a chiropractor, right? Or even in the case of the supplement, we'd say, well, look, there's other supplements out there that have these same botanicals, that have some of these same extracts, but they don't have all of them that we do. They're missing these other ones. We have these, and we have higher doses of them. You see, that's how you differentiate yourself. As a chiropractor, you may say, look, I do this particular type of therapy, decompression therapy, along with this therapy and this therapy, it always proves to work, compared to most chiropractors who only do this particular thing, just crack your back a couple times and that's it, you're on your way. But I actually do it to where it lasts. See, that's differentiating yourself. That's making a case for why you're better than the other solutions out there. It is more competitive, but hey, if that's where you're at, then you need to know how to be more competitive. These templates that you fill in the blank that help you make these arguments are there for you. We have solution aware templates that do that, okay? So then once they're aware of your product, this is where you get into some of what, a little bit of what I just talked about is, how you do things differently. What do you do different? You show results, testimonials of clients. You put your guarantees down. You show social proof of other people who've used your product. You may have a case study of someone using your product, okay? That's people who are aware of your offer already, but they're not completely sold. These are the things you need to do, especially in your retargeting ads and your emails and your follow-ups, all of that, and your sales message, all that needs to be there, okay? And then number one, people who are already sold, they want the product. They just need the price and terms. So you just need to give them the right price and terms. That's pretty much it. I wish it was real easy to just have all of these people here, right? I wish. But in order to get people to number one, you usually have to start at around 4 or 5 or 3. And you have to bring them through that process, okay? This is what separates the amateurs from the professionals that do this full-time for a living and successfully and thrive and grow and scale. This is it right here, okay? So let me show you a quick example. Irina wrote an ad to sell a physical book about this problem aware, right? If I've learned anything from scaling Facebook ads in the last 8 years, it's a sustained steady ROI. It's certainly this. Algorithm changes have very little to do with it. So I'm talking about the problem of scaling, okay, using credibility with the 8 years. And this is her telling the story, right? Algorithm changes have very little to do with it. Challenge has very little to do with it. The algorithm changes are the challenge. So you're like, oh, wait a second, that's not the problem? Oh, sorry, scaling Facebook ads was the benefit. Scaling Facebook ads, okay, that's the benefit that you want to be able to do is scale your Facebook ads. Algorithm changes have very little to do with it. That's the pain, that's the problem, not the challenge, sorry. It's different. Pain and the problem is the core of it. The challenge is what stops them from getting it. So algorithm changes is the pain and the problem. So we were problem aware. So what did she do? She wrote an 800 word, that's the second page. That's the first page, second page, and the third page. It's like 800 words. She told her story of her process of learning Facebook ads, the problems she encountered, how she even generated $100 leads sometimes, had to figure this out. And then these things happened and she learned these things. And then she did this as a favor to a friend of ours who wrote a book on Facebook advertising. That book has since, and one of these ads is partly the reason, is one of the best-selling books on Facebook ads. It's like the #1 best-selling book on Facebook ads in the world, okay? So we wrote this ad and we started making sales. As you can see, about 1,000 sales here. He had to turn this ad off because he ran out of books. Like this is just one sample size of one of the campaigns we did. We're making a sale for about 15 bucks, but he also had an upsell for 100 bucks in his funnel. And so every time he sold the book, he basically made like 50, 60 bucks. So it was like 4 to 1 ROI. Spent $1, made 4. And this was as a favor to him. Blew his business up, right? How cool is that? Well, this particular template for telling a story, that's inside our course. That's inside our Code to Conversions. So fill in the blanks. You just got to go through the module and learn how to define the right elements for your story. And then we give you the structure and the process, okay? So let's look at this for a moment. It's the 5 fallacies, right? Mauricio, so no reason to hide prices, and that way you pre-qualify people. Absolutely, yep. Pre-qualify people are able to spend that money. Yes, Mauricio. Bobby, love that. You're welcome. So the 5 fallacies, but here's what we're doing now. So here's the 5 truths. Let's recap all these myths that we've busted. So you get the highest qualified lead no matter the price because they convert better. Now, of course, the price needs to be reasonable, but let's look at it this way. Traditional marketing is going to tell you, you pay $2, you make 3. Still good, still works, but the ads don't sustain very well because they get high negative scores. Instead, would you rather pay $2 to make 3 or use a highly qualified ad where you pay $3 for a lead instead of 2, okay? But instead of making only $3 when you spend 2, you pay 3 and you make 7. Or 8. Or in a lot of our cases, 9, 10, or 11. it's so worth it. So you don't have to worry about your cost per lead. And everyone's like, yeah, here's how you get cheap leads. Those people aren't qualified. You don't want them. It's just wasted money. The next thing is we don't measure by cost per click because it doesn't matter, because the cost per lead is what matters. But your ad success, you want to make sure to pay attention to your click ratio like we taught, because that's going to tell you whether or not somebody is actually reading or consuming your ad, which is what they need to do in order for them to be pre-qualified. So if your click ratio is 1-to-1, then that means they're not clicking to read your ad or not clicking to click play. They're just clicking the learn more button or whatever button you have down there. You don't want that, okay? So instead of your cost per click, you're looking at your click ratio, okay? Number 3 was the shorter the ad, the better. Instead, we write longer, more in-depth ads that convert better, allowing Facebook's algorithm to optimize for higher qualified users. See that? And optimizing for the ultimate goal, like you saw, we optimize for purchase on the front end. Now, we don't always, but we do that as well as optimizing for leads or other things too when we're doing digital products or something where that works. So this is also for you e-com physical product people, is a lot of you optimize for purchase anyway. But now, if you use this message framework, then what happens is you make more sales, okay? And it's your ad sustains, okay? So you can focus on deeper down in your funnel. Now, the last part was the whole pattern interrupt thing. You guys now see, by setting the proper context where you can take attention naturally and not have to just, boo, scare someone into, you startle them, because that's just, you come off as desperate. When you're trying really hard to get somebody's attention, you just look desperate. People lose respect for you. Why don't you just naturally take their attention? Our click rates show the difference, okay? So what is click ratio again, Jim? It's the ratio between your CTR all to your CTR link, okay? So if your CTR all is 5, your CTR link is 2.5. And the click ratio, if it's 1-to-1, if it's like, 2.5 to 2.5, that means they're not clicking your video or they're not clicking your ad, to the text to read. So you need to make sure to watch your click ratio. And if you have an image ad, your perfect click ratio is going to be 2-to-1, because they're going to click see more, that's 1 click, and they're going to click the link. So that's 2 clicks and 1 link click. It's 2-to-1. If it's a video, then they're clicking twice, click play, and then they're clicking see more to read your text, which is 2 clicks, and then they click the link, which is their 3rd click on your ad. 1 link click, but 3 clicks altogether, right? So that'd be 3-to-1, okay? So Chris was applying these concepts to an e-com launch strategy, loving the results so far in the first 48 hours. These concepts have been super powerful for me in the launch, thanks. This ad is adding new bot and email subscribers between 20 and 40 cents a pop and qualifying them too. Look at his CTR link. CTR all, 17.86, 10.79, averaging 12.84. Way better than the average CTR all of 2% for most Facebook ads. CTR link, 6.98, 3.6. So we see 12.84, 4.58, almost a perfect 3-to-1 ratio, almost. Close enough. That's what I'm talking about, guys. That's what this does for you. When you see those click ratios, right, that means they're consuming your content, getting pre-filtered, pre-qualified, and allowing the algorithm to optimize. Okay. So Chris did the same thing here. I'm just going to go through this real quick. He basically had his old ads, CTR all 1%, 1.94, so an average of like 1.5. CTR link was like 0.59, 0.58. So those are before down here, right? Then we go up here, and after Epic ads, right, using the Epic process, implementing what we have inside our course, CTR alls are 5.25, 5.08, so that's 5x pretty much, right? Almost 5x. CTR link, 1.64, 1.92. So like 3 or 4x on his link click-through rate, and almost perfect click ratios, 3-to-1. And he said perfect CTR ratios I haven't seen such high CTRs before. Ads are the same video ad that was previously used, except with our code copy. Stuff works. Jason, getting better at writing. This is a webinar in the health space right out of the gate, performing, and right now after 6 days has a positive return on ad spend of 3.28. So he's paying $1, making $3.28. Look at his click ratios. I know this is kind of fuzzy. You got to get a better one. 15.62 on the CTR all. CTR link 6.45. 3-to-1 ratio. Pretty close. Not entirely, but pretty close because video ad, right? Captions. So this is what's possible. Does this make sense? I want to see everyone in the chat. Let me know if this makes sense so far of the concept of all these things of setting context, pre-qualifying, letting the algorithm do the heavy lifting. If this makes sense in the chat, say yes. And this is a great question, JG. How does this sit with the fact that the algorithm needs sufficient historical event data for the event you want to optimize for? It's not the case. So a lot of people say that, you know, the algorithm needs sufficient historical event data for the event you want to optimize for. But this algorithm's too smart. That's old information. Like, yes, it helps and it makes it better, but you got to start somewhere. And you want to retrain your pixel anyway with better ads so that you can start training your pixel to watch for the right people that are going to make those conversions. Okay. So Bobby, yes. Eddie, yes. Carl, yes. Right on, right on. Josie, yes. Matt, Jim, okay. Swedva sounds good. Yes. Right on, right on. Ash makes sense. Yes. Thanks. You're very welcome. All right. Cool, cool. Good to hear everyone's Mike. Yes. Carl, yes. Carmel, yes. Right on, guys. Okay. So I'm going to give you guys a quick offer. All right. But I just want to ask you one question. Let me know in the chat. Did you get what you came here for? And if you got more than what you expected, please let me know. And on top of that, was this class worth your time? So you do less audience targeting with this strategy, Jim. I get the feeling, Jim, you came on late because we covered a lot of that. But yes, we do larger audiences, okay? Larger audiences so that the algorithm has more to choose from. And sometimes when you get really good and you have a lot of, you know, conversions and your algorithm and your pixel knows where to go, you can use no targeting, okay? But sometimes that doesn't work right out of the gate because you need to draw some context. Okay. I did, yep, and yep. Right on. Thank you guys. Thanks for all the info. Okay, so do you feel like you can create better ads from what you've learned? Okay. Let me know if you think you can create better ads. So here's my real question to you then. Absolutely. Right on. Cool. Thank you, Eddie. What if you had a tested and proven ad template for every level of upside? Now, upside is that unaware, problem aware, solution aware, you're aware of you or your product, or D, deal aware, right? We just call it as a short acronym, we call it upside. As well as a video template for every level to deploy in your ads. And if so, then introducing our one-of-a-kind groundbreaking course, Code to Conversions. Code Conversions is a 6-module based course. On module 1 teaches you the 18 social rules of engagement, along with, and every single one of these modules has a bonus deep dive recorded Q&A webinar that we did for each one when we released it just a bit ago. So 18 social rules of engagement, 22 plus headline engagement formulas. Module 3 is our actual ad templates, but you have to go through these first 2 modules to learn how they work so that you can apply these templates, okay? So people jump in and grab the templates and they're like, it doesn't work. And it's like, well, you didn't go through the training to understand how to apply them. You know, come on, don't be ridiculous. Our epic long copy story ad formula, been using this for years to create new prospects out of thin air. Epic video ad formulas, and not just video ad formulas, but the video ad outline as well as the text fill in the blank copy that goes along with it. So it's a video ad that has the video outline and the fill in the blank template text to fill in, okay? And then also you get our setup, optimization, and troubleshooting module, okay? So this works for all niches and industries, all right? We've talked about that, okay? If you want to take advantage of our exact frameworks, processes, outlines, and templates that we use in our agency every day, which can be used for any ad or Facebook on Instagram, on Facebook or Instagram, then Code to Conversions is for you. All right. So inside you get social rules of engagement, learn to speak the language, biggest mistakes people make when engaging, and which attracts the wrong people. Attract 2x to 5x more Facebook users to read your ads. Attract the right people. Okay. Module 2 is all our headline engagement formulas. I got 22 plus. So I got 22 headline formulas, and they're all scattered between different upside levels, different states of awareness, right? You'll learn about 2 more headline elements besides the 7 you got here, okay? Specific formulas for below the creative as well as above text headlines. So it's really like 30-something headlines because we have different below creative headlines as well, okay? And you'll learn the psychology of why headlines work. Then you'll learn the fail-safe epic ad templates. You get a bunch of these in here, and we're adding more to it. We got 2 or 3 more coming here within very short time. We got one coming this week, which is Kim's ad. You saw that. The Rainmaker template, okay? Client gets clients. Local businesses can use that. You can use it for lead gen. You can use it for so many things, right? We've got a webinar invite one. We've got another webinar invite coming on the way here, probably next week. We've got a direct-to-cart solution-aware template to sell to, okay? We've got our 105% NNS framework. The offer analysis worksheet allows you to look at your offer and make sure everything's there so that it converts really well. So it's not just about your ad, but also your offer. And your ideal customer formula, which helps you fail-proof your ad so that when you fill in those blanks in your ad template, that it works, okay? The epic story formula, go into blue ocean markets, create customers on demand, sell with a story before the prospect even knows they're being sold, kind of like how Irina did, right? Target niches that are generally considered out of reach and convert, and use our credible witness story template. It's in there in that module. That's the one that you saw from Irina that we derived from that, so you can use that one. Video ad formulas and outlines. So the video and text combination templates, what you need to know template, the absolute proof template, the cart filler template. Anyone can do this template. More coming. Okay, we keep updating this course. Okay. Number 6 is set up optimization and troubleshooting. So you learn how we set up, how we test, how to identify your ad metrics properly so you can adjust the right strategy and scale your ads at the right time. This is our complete creation process. Our troubleshooting checklist, so you can diagnose issues automatically so you know how to optimize on the fly. So if your ad's not working, this tells you what metrics to look at, and then that'll tell you what's actually the thing you need to fix, okay? So once again, all of this tested on over 1.5 million in the last year, and it's more like 2 million now. So just to let you know, we're not making anything up here. This is everything that's already tested and proven to work many times over, okay? So what's your cost to come with us? Just remember, you get all of this, okay? Modules 1 through 6, all of these different things. We added up the value on that. Other people sell similar stuff to these values, but we knew that we needed to make it affordable for you, so we're not charging you $47.97, okay? But I want to ask you, if all this did was double your return on ad spend by 100%, which happens all the time. Now think about what you're spending on your ads now, doubling that return. Think about that, what happens doing that for 6 months straight in your business, okay, how that turns out. And then think about a year from now if you continue to do that every month. That's what I want you to think is very, very possible here. So you're not going to pay $47.97. You're not even going to pay our regular price, which we have publicly for sale on our site, right, at $19.95. Instead, we're going to give you a one-time payment of only $9.97. Okay, so one-time payment. And Matt, if you can pop that in there again for everyone. Farham, hi Chris, everyone just joined. Man, we're almost towards the end. Earlier, second time makes way more sense. Gotcha. Right on. The Mad Ad Writer, I dug your class. So we'll send out a replay, guys. So, but also for those of you budget friendly, you get it at 2 payments of $5.97 if you need to. Now there's a cool bonus completion guarantee call where I get on with you personally when you finish the course. Okay, so there's a lot to this where you need to be able to make that second payment before I hop on with you. But for those of you who want to do that and go through the course fast, you just do the $9.97 and you're able to do that as soon as you finish the course. But I'll talk more about that here in a minute. So click the link in the chat. Matt, if you could pop that in the chat for me. again. And here's what you do. Click the offer in the chat, choose either the $997 or the 2Pay $597, secure your seat in the course. After payment, you'll be directed to a confirmation page. It's going to say, welcome to the new world. Then you'll receive your login credentials via email, okay, the billing email that you used. You'll be able to access the first module that will access our Facebook group, where we're very active. I'm going to talk about that in a moment. And then you'll be able to jump into the course. So here's the questions we usually get, guys. What if you follow the templates and they don't seem to work as well as you expect them to? And I get that. That's what some people say. Number one, we have recorded deep dive webinars for each module. They're all between 2 and 3 hours where I go deep into all the questions for each module. Every module we did one of these webinars, right? You see all the questions that are asked, you get clarity on the teaching, and I go deeper, I clarify things, and then I learn, and then you learn by me watching feedback of other people's funnels and ads that they submit. Okay, so you get some of that in there. All right. So people are like, cool. People have gone through it, they're like, okay, but what if I have other questions? I get that, right? What if I have questions after the webinars? We're not leaving you guys high and dry. So how do you get support? Lifetime access to the Conversion Coders Facebook group. Get same-day feedback from informed members who understand what you're trying to accomplish, because let's face it, if you try to show your long copy ad to somebody who doesn't understand this methodology and hasn't been through this workshop and this live training to understand the difference and know that it works, they're gonna look at your ad and say, oh, that's way too long. No one's gonna read that. Don't run it. But if you can show your ad to a bunch of kindred souls, like-minded people who understand what you're trying to accomplish and know that these things work, to do it themselves, then they can help you stay on the right path. So it's like crowdsourcing. You can post your ad inside the group and get feedback, right? And you see it happens every day. Others' ads know they're on the right track, okay? So that's important, lifetime access there, okay? I'm in there almost every day. And I personally respond to almost everything. Sometimes it takes me a day or two, but I respond, okay? Empathy map training. So this is how you tell really good stories. It's a special 2.5-hour webinar that Irina did, and it teaches you how to see through the eyes of your ideal avatar, okay? Building out a full empathy map, and she helps you with the right questions to be able to define that. Once you have that empathy map, it allows you to tell stories in a much better way that works so much better, okay? Ken, one of the best calls I've ever been on, invested a lot in courses over the years, spent a lot of cash, and that call was probably one of the most powerful ever. Thank you and great work. Okay, pretty cool, right? Bonus number 4, for you beginners, we have a mini course called the Epic Ad Formula. Now, we don't sell that publicly too often. Sometimes we open it up, but right now you can get it along with this. It's a $297 priced course. You get it for free along with Code to Conversions. And so it basically teaches you the basics of the Epic Ad Formula and how to put that together without following a template, but just being able to understand the basics of it, right? Help you. You can literally write ads from here. There's also 2 bonus cheat sheet walkthroughs because we have an Epic cheat sheet that help you define these elements and then just fill in the blanks, right? So you go through those cheat sheets and it helps you create your ad right on the spot. And I've got 2 bonus walkthroughs that are recorded of me walking through with somebody, going through that, helping them fill that out so you understand how to use it. One of them is direct to recurring subscription. Another one's selling a physical product. There's examples for lead gen, webinar registrants, direct to a sales message, how to even skip a sales page, right? So here's the big one. Some of you are like, okay, so what's your guarantee? We stand behind it. We believe in this. So here's our guarantee. Our guarantee is that if you finish the program, you use the worksheets and you create an ad, you run your ad, you record your results, submit your results on your completion application, which unlocks for you when you finish the course. When you do, I'll give you 1 free 60-minute personal screen share coaching call myself. So I'll hop on with you and I'll look at your ad. And if it's not working, I'll help you fix it. If it is working, I'll help you make it better. I'll look at your funnel as well. Whatever we can do in those 60 minutes for me to help, for me to serve, for me to make it better for you, I will do. And it's selfish for me to do this because I want to be able to see people having success with this, and it keeps me sharp. Okay, so I love doing this. This is what's completely different about my course versus anything else out there, is that I care. I actually care about the results of my clients because I know this methodology works. And I know that some people get hung up sometimes. They implement everything and it's just not working optimally. So if I can come in and just tweak things, find those small hinges that swing big doors, then it makes a difference. And I can use you as a case study or a testimonial or my poster child, so that's important to me, all right? So that's my completion guarantee. Now, some of you are like, well, what about a money back guarantee? Here's the thing. What I'm giving you in this course is everything that's already proven. So a lot of people like to give a money back guarantee because they're like, well, if you're not satisfied with it. Honestly, this is more than satisfaction in this course. Everything I give you, every template, is already proven to work. So you can't tell me it doesn't work. If it doesn't work for you, then it's because you still need to dial it in and make it work for you. Works when you work it. Some people just skip everything and try to fill in the template and it doesn't work too well at first. And they're like, it doesn't work. Well, you didn't follow the course, right? You didn't follow the teachings. And we know it works because we get constant testimonials and people coming out of our group saying that. So I don't believe in, when I'm giving you something that's already proven to work and you say it doesn't work, then I know the problem is not necessarily me, but you haven't implemented everything properly, okay? And it's all step by step in there to do so. So there's no excuses. So because of that, out of my own integrity, I don't offer money back guarantees, but I do offer a completion guarantee so that if you're in it, I'm in it with you and we'll make it work. Okay. So that's my guarantee. It's way better than anything else out there. And I know that, people have come to me and said, I appreciate your guarantee way better than money back, because that just gives a chance for people to just give up. Right. But this is where we make it work. And that's why you bought the course in the first place. Okay. So I got a special surprise bonus here in a minute, but I want to add this up. So understand all this value, total bonuses are over $2,000 by themselves. Okay. So this is everything you get. And those bonuses, the deep dive webinars, the conversion coder group, 2.5-hour empathy map training, the Epic Ad formula, 60-minute completion guarantee. That's a typo, right? I should actually just fix that right now. So you see that. Okay. There we go. All right. So that's that. So here's everything. As a code member, here's everything you get. Main content, $52.94. Bonus content, it's actually a little more. So, because we've added up everything in here. $25.90. I didn't change that on the last one, but it actually does add up to $25.90. So total value, $7,387. All right. Like I said, one payment of $997 or two payments of $597. So when you click that link, this is what the page is going to look like. When you click that link, it's going to show you this. There's going to be a button down here for the one pay, $997. There's going to be a button down here for the two pay, where you're going to pay $597 now, and in 30 days, you'll pay the last payment. You still get access to everything at the $597 level, okay? You get everything the same. It's just two payments, but you get instant access to everything, okay? Except your completion guarantee form, because you didn't finish a course yet. That unlocks afterwards. So then, when you click those buttons, you're going to go to this particular page where you fill out all your information. Okay, see the completion guarantee is on there. All right, no one ever offers that. I hope you appreciate that. Some of you don't even know the value of that yet. I usually charge $800 an hour for my coaching. All right, you're gonna get a free hour from me, so it's like an extra $800 for you. Okay, who's willing to do that? Come on, I mean seriously, right? So we're building something here. Do you want to be a part of it? This is the future. All right. So here's something else I want you to see real quick. There is a bump. For those of you who want to get everything that we offer right away, we also have a retargeting and scaling package. Now, that is for those who are pretty much like, you know that you're going to get to the point where you need to do retargeting and scaling, or you're already there and you want to make all your ads better and be able to scale and retarget. So we sell that publicly for $497, basically $500. This is the only place that I'm offering you $200 off that, where you can get it for $297. Okay, so this is the only place during this promo. And if you check that box, then you'll be charged an extra one-time $297. So if it's $997, you're going to pay $1294. If it's a $597 and you add that, then it's going to be like $894 for your first payment, $597 for your second payment. Okay, so let me show you what this is. So if you take that bump, the retargeting and scaling package, what you get is this 3.5-hour long marathon webinar I did, where I revealed the exact targeting schemes and ads we used to double, even triple our clients' revenue, okay, which was digital marketer, by the way. You get to see our full proprietary process. We drew it all out, every single ad and how it connects and which one goes where. We have a full repository of every ad we used. So we have literally a sheet that clicks the link and it takes you to the live ad posted by them. You get to see the exact ad in its current state. The post permalink and all the comments and everything are there. You get to see that, right? So we have all of those different, it's like 12 or 13 different ads. You get to see all of them. You can model any of those ads in your retargeting, okay? And then you learn about the audience to budget ratio that helps you actually do this well and get impressions on your retargeting, which a lot of people have issues with. But it's about the audience to budget ratio. Nobody talks about this, okay? But we literally cut our highest profile client CPA in half using this exact strategy. We'll reveal it all, okay? And this was, by the way, Digital Marketer. Some of you know who they are, one of the largest brands in the space. So then also you get our SPS scaling system. This is the exact process we follow to engineer a fully sustaining ad campaign at massive scale. So you get our scale checklist, okay? You learn how to set the right foundation for scaling, and you'll learn how keeping the ad spend super efficient that grows safely, okay? So it's sustained, so you can continue to scale and grow, okay? So those two modules, if you want those two, which we have the module 7, that SPS scaling system, that has a webinar along with it. So a couple hours there on just deep dive questions on that whole scaling system. If you want that, then just check that box, $297 one-time payment before you submit your order, okay? All right, cool. Now I'm gonna check the slides here. I'm gonna check the chat here real quick. Now you are becoming too salesy. I don't believe so. I think I've educated you and given you so much value over the last 2.5 hours that it's totally okay to give you everything everyone asks for here. So I don't see it that way at all. And I have no compunction about offering you what I know is going to help you, okay? Farhan, congrats, welcome to the family. Farhan picked it up too. And then here we go. How much longer? Just a few more minutes, guys. Okay, so here it is. Those of you who are waiting for that free template, okay? Now that I've given you the offer, go ahead and click the link in the chat, all right? On that same page, okay? So on this same page here, when you click the link in the chat, if you wanna get the template, then what you have to do is you have to click that same link that takes you to this same page, and below these yellow buttons is this link that says click here to download the direct to cart solution or template, okay? So what that does is it takes you to a place where you can download it, and it has like a 12 to 13 minute training video on how to use it properly, okay? So that's about where you get, let me do this here. Okay, let me show you this. So this is what you'll click on, okay? And this is me actually like showing you, walking you through how to do this, right? So if you click here, it opens up in a new tab, the actual template, which is this is the 12 steps that the actual ad needs, right? These are the concepts, the first 12, and then you literally get fill in the blank. Like, as long as you have these elements, which a lot of them are very easy and simple for you, for your business, you already should know them. And if you don't, you shouldn't be in business. No, I'm kidding. Some of you just need to think a little bit deeper into like, what's the main pain? What's the main benefit people have? Okay. And then this will work for you. Okay. So we go through the whole thing so you understand how to do everything with your value proposition. And then there's guidelines to go along with it. All right. So that's how this works. That's the free value. So my too salesy now, Farham, or not Farham, sorry. Guest 5705. Let's see if I'm too salesy now. I just gave you one of our high converting templates. I know you're joking with me. It's all right, bud. When does this offer expire? Need to check. Okay, so yes, very good question. 120 hours. Okay, so basically you got a few days and then it expires and that's it. Okay, so where's that at? So basically 120 hours from now, and it ends at midnight, I believe, a few days, however many days that is, okay? So just so you guys know, this is right from the group, inside our group, Code to Conversions. Candace, the more of Code to Conversions I'm exposed to, the more amazed I am at the detail, clarity, and brilliantly systemized structure of every single piece. Thank you, Chris. Your work here is thoroughly mind-blowing. Definitely goes far beyond the bounds of only a Facebook ad writing course. Meanwhile, this element is, of course, itself genius. I love that, right? John, still going through the training at the risk of sounding like some adolescent fanboy. I have to say this course is the single best investment I've ever made in my agency and our Facebook advertising strategy. Just amazing. Thank you for creating this, Chris. So that's just like, you know, few people. So here, once again, click the offer in the chat, click the link, secure your seat in the course. After payment, you'll be directed to the confirmation page. You'll receive your login credentials via email, and you'll be able to, first module, get you access. You have to make sure to use your email address when you request access so that we can cross-reference you. That group is only for paid members. You won't be able to get inside of that thing without buying, okay? We do actually cross-reference every single person, okay? But Tim was selling, one of the first members that came in, he was selling quilting patterns, physical quilting patterns that he was shipping out, and he lived in Alaska. That's where he lives, right? Through Code to Conversions training, we've been able to increase our ad spend from $195 a day to $1,600 a day, and have increased our monthly revenue by 338% in the last 4 weeks. And with the improvements we've implemented during Code, I'm confident in hitting 7 figures in the next 12 to 18 months. How cool is that? So Lance Brown, way over delivering, best course on ads in general I've ever taken. Brandon, definitely best copywriting course I ever took. I have to tell him, like, I don't like to call it copywriting because then I get flack from unknowing copywriters who don't understand what we're trying to do. Because the copywriting principles translate differently for Facebook than they do on something else. So, but no one teaches this. No one has ever codified this or created this until now. So Frank, my wife, Ramona, says it's one of the best courses she's been through. And Ramona, like, yes, that's right. Thank you. So it ain't 100% the best course I've ever taken, even for someone like me who saw the Power Editor 2 years ago, and it looked as terrifying as a pilot's cockpit. Love your vision. Greatly appreciate all you're sharing with us. So excited for this. Mike, loving the social rules of engagement. Been through so many courses. This stuff is breakthrough for sure. Testing a lot of it. Veet, rub my eyes. Can't believe what I'm seeing. The first time I ever managed to get a relevant score of 10. Nice. Not even using the full templates, but the core ideas and structure. Tom Eberts, did a few online courses yet and never experienced this value before. Maybe I should write a testimonial. So Steve had never had success on Facebook. And he says, but I made 3 sales, just over $1,600 in revenue, spent $388 in ad spend. This is the first time in 2 years that I've been running ads that I got a positive ROI on ad spend. It's still early, but this course has been a complete game changer for me. Chad used the cart filler template on another project, getting 2 to 1 out of the gate. How cool is that? Roderick, I've been using what you taught, getting a 2 to 1 results. I asked him, seriously? He said, my client's copywriter genius got only 50% results, which is half the results my template got for him. I said, can you show that? He says, and I just copy and pasted your formula. Now, I recommend you being able to customize the template a little bit. Don't just copy and paste specifically, but the formula, fill in the blanks, right? So Tim, if you're shooting for the absolute best, most usable, actionable, implementable, transformational, rubber meets the road Facebook ad training of its kind, you have far exceeded your goals and intentions. I knew this was going to be good, but this has been way better than good. But wait, there's more. So here's the last thing for you. Here's what I have for you guys. So I'm doing a special new monthly called Code Critiques. And Code Critiques is where I get on live and I do hot seats and I literally rewrite and critique someone's ad and their funnel, okay? So we do that twice a month, live webinars, and you get the replays. So we're gonna be charging $97 a month for that, okay? And it's only open to people who buy Code because they've got to use the methodology and then they can pay to get these critiques. What I'm going to give you is a special bonus to actually pick up Code within this promo period, okay? Within the next 120 hours. is 30 days free to Code Critiques. So you actually get access to 2 live webinars and the replays for it while you have access. So if you can't even make it live, I have been told that people said they learned more than anything else by being on those webinars and watching me rework through copy. Okay, I actually have one of the recordings inside the Facebook group for everybody to be able to watch. I just posted a couple days ago, so you get to watch one of them for free already. So you actually get like 3 in a way, right? And that's what you get if you join within these next 120 hours. Is you get 30 days free to Code Critiques. Okay, and I highly recommend you stick around and continue to get them so that you get better and better. But it's for those who need it. Okay, but once again, you cannot be a member of Code Critiques unless you buy Code to Conversions. You will not be allowed to buy Code Critiques unless you are a Code member. Okay, so that's it. As I would say, welcome to the family. It is now time, and go ahead and click that link, and then I'm going to take any other questions here. I'm also going to show you guys what the course looks like here in the back. I'm logging in now, but I'm going to go ahead and look at any questions. All right. So, all right. Any questions? Let me know in the chat. I'm going to show you what this looks like. Okay, so share my screen again, and then I'm going to take questions too. So this is inside of our teachable platform, Code to Conversions. You'll see that you get our group instructions, group access instructions right here, okay? And then you also get another recording of all the important teachings that you learned here at the webinar. It's one of the other ones we've done, right? But you want to be able to make sure and, you know, if you haven't watched one of these webinars, you have that for reference, right? It's a lot of the same teachings, same trade secrets. So also you're going to get, you know, this is in, actually, sorry, social rules of engagement, right? So you get me on a whiteboard where I'm literally explaining these different rules to you, and I walk through all of them. It takes about an hour for both lessons, right? About 30 minutes per lesson. And you get all these 18 different social rules of engagement that are way different than regular traditional copywriting rules, okay? But they're super important for social media. Mauricio, how many? How to define them? Any suggestions to install Pixel? Mauricio, you can go, Facebook has free training on that, on all the tech stuff. So I would direct you there. This is not about tech optimizations with the mechanics of Facebook. This is about the messaging. This is a Facebook copywriting messaging course, and it happens to have some of the optimization stuff in it as well, but you only have 1 pixel per business. So it's the same pixel that you install on all your pages, okay? Also, so the audience engagement formulas, you get the upside stuff, you learn about all these different ones. So let me show you this, right? So like you literally see the other headline formulas in here, okay? So I literally show you, I walk you through, it's a video, I'm explaining the psychology of each one of these headlines and why it works and how you can apply it to yours, okay? All right? And it's every single one has an example. Every single one is a proven example from one of our ads that worked, okay? And then you'll see like we've got our deep dive webinar, right? So you even got an offer analysis, how to analyze an offer, okay? Super important. Mark Hauser, welcome to the family. Just got code, congrats. Look forward to seeing the group. Welcome to the family, Mark. Let's see, so yeah, I mean, the deep dive webinar, we go through and actually like go through stuff and like take everything that I teach and make it actionable, okay? The empathy map session, that was nuts. You'll probably really like that. Okay, so there's some questions for you right there. All right. So you get some of these templates, right? And I literally explain like everything that needs to go into them and how to make it work, okay? So it's not just a matter of getting inside there and then going and grabbing the template and trying to fill in the blanks. You've got to understand what needs to be filled in the blanks. And that's what the first couple modules are really about defining, okay? Using the ideal customer formula. So you get the our setup process, all right? And then if you are if you're getting the retargeting and scaling package, you see like that's a part of our retargeting package, right? And then intro to scaling, like all the whole thing, all right? So you'll get those if you click that little button, order bump, okay? If not, then you won't get this part, the retargeting or the scaling. That's the order bump for you guys who want it. You can add it to your order for $297 rather than the regular price $500. It's the only place you can get it for $297. Okay. Mauricio, I see you have 5 here. What are you referring to in the pixel? I see you have 5. Mauricio, I'm not really sure entirely what you're asking. So that's what you get inside the course, all right? And you get instant access to all of it the moment it unlocks for you right after you join us, okay? So that's our offer. And any other questions we'll take now. Did you guys have fun today? Did you learn a lot? I mean, this is a little different than just about anything else out there. I think you can see that now. Hey, Chris, run a small nonprofit. We're not quite ready for this, but I feel like we could be in 2 to 3 months. Do things like this come up throughout the year? Yeah, every so often we do a promotion like this. So 2 to 3 months, we might have another one. Yeah, I think so. Yep. How long will the course will take? There's 20 something hours of content in there. It's a lot, right? So yeah. Same question as guest 324. Right. Yeah, so right on, Jim. Cool. Glad you learned a lot, bud. Eddie, you did. I'm not sure what you mean there. Maybe you joined us? All right, so last questions. Any other questions? Now is the time. Yeah, very good question, Eddie. So all is proven to work even across borders like I am in Mexico, real estate. So Eddie, here's the cool thing. This stuff transcends any language. So Roderick, he was translating these templates to French. We have people who've translated it to Swedish and Russian. Irina's first language is Russian, right? She was born in Ukraine, and so English is her second language. She came here when she was 18 or 20, and so she wrote some of these ads. Like that's with these templates, like following this process. Now she's fluent in English now, but it's still her second language. So as you know, the difference from being able to speak fluent and write fluent is sometimes a little different, right? So these templates they're not based on languaging, they're based on the elements. We have people who have translated to Spanish, also to Portuguese, and have had success. What are some of the other ones? It's what I remember now. So it's been translated to 4 or 5 different languages now, and people say they still have a lot of success with it. It's been translated to French, been translated to Swedish, Russian, Spanish, Portuguese. Yeah. Do you have nice results with the low ticket e-com activity? We do have some people that have had lots of success. Inside of our Facebook group, you'll see that there's people from all different businesses that do this. Like I said, we do a lot of consulting now. We don't do ad management so much anymore, only if we do like a partnership deal. Because we're a small agency, not much bandwidth to run and manage ads, but you really don't want that. Like what people come to us for is for consulting, and we also will like actually write an ad for you, but it costs thousands of dollars to write that one long copy ad because it goes a lot into it. It's like writing a mini sales letter, right? for us to custom do one for you. It's much easier for you to just grab the templates and start there, make that work at first. Carmel, I'm interested, but want to watch the replay. I miscalculated time, missed the first hour. Is the course for quite inexperienced users? This is a good question. So what's different about this course is this is for anybody and everybody. It's for people who are brand new, and it's people who are also experts. And here's why. Because every Facebook course you get is mostly always about the mechanics. It's about the optimizations. It's about the ad sets. It's about your pixels. It's about the ads manager and how to operate and all the mechanics. This is not that. This is about the messaging. This is how to write the ad. And a brand new person can do this, and experts come in here and do this. We have brand new people that have not even placed an ad before, where we said, look, you're going to have to learn how to use the ad manager. Okay, but there's free courses at Facebook//blueprint. Just Google Facebook Blueprint. They have free courses that walk you through step by step how to place your ads in Ads Manager. But what we do differently is we give you the message to develop, and that is evergreen, including the fact that we're updating our templates as we go. We get a good ad that runs, we put it in here. So there's going to be more templates added as time goes on, and more for you to use. Yeah, no, yeah, Jim, I didn't see that comment. So totally get you, Jim. Your questions, yeah, totally get it, man. I would say join us, but if you need to watch the replay, we'll be sending that out in a few hours. Will the live stream be archived? You will get a limited time replay, limited time. Okay. Let's see here. So yes, it is for very inexperienced people, because it's different. This course is evergreen. It's not something like most Facebook courses are irrelevant in 60 days because Facebook changes their techniques, their algorithm, and their ads manager interface all the time. It's in the process of a shift right now. But this course has nothing to do with that. And quite frankly, you shouldn't have to pay for learning the mechanics of Facebook ads. And people who do, like, whatever, you know. But I'm giving you the core. The messaging of your ad is what matters more than anything else. Everything else is secondary. Everything else can be figured out. If you don't have the messaging right, your ad's not going to work anyway. So that's why I say this is different than anything else out there. Okay. And this course stays relevant all the time because the methods and the templates and the way we write copy and the way it's translated, the social rules of engagement, those don't change. It's a fundamental difference in the way we communicate. So the ads manager stuff, that's easy to learn. I'm not going to waste your time there. Okay, it's simple. It might take time to learn that if you haven't yet, but you can. But what I'm giving you is something that's always going to be relevant. A lot of Facebook ad courses change in 60 to 90 days. They have to redo it because the ad manager interface looks different. Not mine, because ours is about the messaging. Okay. Jeremy, do you continue to improve the training? Yes, we do. We're doing some redos of modules, making them clearer, more succinct. And the point is to get even more succinct into the point so you can get through it faster, as well as adding more templates. As they prove to work in what we do, we add them to the course. So we've got one coming this week with Kim's ad. That template is going to be there soon, as well as the e-com template here within a week or two. And then there's a webinar retargeting one and a webinar cold ad one also coming here soon on the docket to templatize. So we'll continue to be adding those. So you continue to get new, fresh templates. Okay. Come on, you guys would like that, right? Pay once, keep reaping the benefits of it. Lifetime access to the group. I'd say this is a no-brainer. I spent 2.5 hours proving everything to you guys. So at this point, yeah, why wait? Why even procrastinate? It's pretty simple. There's nothing else like this. So either way, this is the future. I believe a year and a half from now that this is going to become much more mainstream, where this will be the accepted methodology. And people will see and understand that the other ways they do it are not sustainable. But you're here, ground floor, early, where you can implement this before everybody else is implementing it, so you can stand out that much more and be that much more competitive. So you may want to take advantage of it now rather than 6 months to a year from now. You know, honestly, Jim, the funnel scripts thing, like, let me address that, because you're like, funny thing, Russell just offered his funnel scripts lifetime deal. Yeah. So some of that works for your funnel, but it does not work for your ads. Like, he's got ad templates in there, but it's all the old traditional stuff that I just proved to you does not work as well as this. So what you're going to do is, if you get this, you're going to understand how you can make those scripts even better, because those have also been used by, I mean, hundreds of thousands of people have bought funnel scripts. So a lot of people use the same thing. So if you're going to use the same copy paste stuff there, it's been used by so many people on funnels. What hasn't been used a lot is this, because we just released this. So I would definitely say, which some of that is still some really traditional type marketing. Like, I like Russell, but he also kind of makes it seem simpler than it is. I don't want to do that to you guys. So I'm not into coercion. I'm not saying he does. I'm not saying he's doing coercion, but he uses a lot of the traditional techniques, and they feel kind of like, you know, and you don't want to feel that way. And you don't have to, because it's not how you say something, it's what you say. Let me help you understand what to say, and then put you in the right process and structure with proper context, where you don't have to be hypey or sell too hard. How about that? So Jim, I would say find a way. Definitely, especially if you're going in that direction. Is this just for lead generation, or can be used for targeting your existing customers? Absolutely. There is a few retargeting ads in there now. There's going to be more. We've got that full repository of 12 different ads in our retargeting module, which you get in the scaling and retargeting bundle, upgrade bundle. But can it be used for targeting existing customers? Absolutely. And it can be used for lead. It's not just for lead generation. Like, we just showed 3 examples of going direct to sale. So you can do it going direct to sale for anything. Okay. So definitely not just for lead generation. And as we showed in our 5 truths of Facebook ads, that you don't always want to just optimize for leads. You want to optimize for purchase, going direct to sale all the time. That's not the only, I mean, there's different ways to do it. There's webinars, leads, direct to sale, appointments, landing page views, lots of different stuff you're doing. It can work for any of them. You can also modify the calls to actions at the end of these templates to fit what you're doing. So I get it, Jim. Yeah. Mike, thank you. Now I understand why our ad works well. By luck, it follows your principles. Right on, Mike. If you want to duplicate that, because getting lucky once doesn't mean you know how to make it again. Now maybe you do, but if you want to be actionable and make sure that you ensure that these things are going to work just about every single time, join us. I invite any of you who want to make your ads better to join us. Okay, looks like that's about it. Any last questions? We're going to wrap it up. So once again, click that link in the chat. Matt, if you could pop that link in there one last time for everybody. And we shall see you on the inside. Thanks so much, Jim. Looking forward to having you in there. You know, one of the things is what I ask from people, because and Jim, I'm kind of speaking to like the dilemma you're in right now. I don't trust my resources that I have as much as I trust my resourcefulness. And the fact is that I know if I have resourcefulness, I can get what I need to make things happen. okay? And the issue with most people is that they look at their current resources and then they're trying to protect them versus understanding how to make them grow. So, you know, you can't afford not to get this thing, because what's going to be the difference in your ads and how much your return on ad spend is when you do that? You're going to lose a lot over the next few months by not implementing these ads, as you well now know. So I want you to think about it that way, the cost benefit reward and the opportunity costs of now versus later. And understand that, yeah, it may seem like a little chunk right now. Okay, I'm giving you guys one hell of a deal with the value, but also understand like what this is going to be able to do for you and how quickly you will recoup your money. And then from there, it's gravy. So keep that in mind. All right. So Jay, here's the thing. Okay, well, I will split test your approach using your free template, and if it goes well, I'll be back. JG, what's your product? Absolutely agree, Jim. Right on. Because here's the thing. Some people try to use that template with a product that is hyper competitive. That template that I showed you worked for a product that not many people had. Okay, so it's kind of like their beginner template that's easier to work with. But if you're doing something like a supplement or weight loss or relationships or something like that, then with a hyper competitive product, you're going to need to do more value justifying in there. So that template doesn't fit every single thing. Okay, so I want you to keep that in mind. JG, e-com, Shopify. It depends on the product. Okay, JG. What's your like, what type of product? So guess 6780. When you click on that payment link, the chat where Matt literally just put that in there and tagged you, just scroll down to the bottom of the page, and there's going to be blue text that says click here to download the direct cart template. Okay, it's the same link you click on for the offer, but all that's there. You just scroll down to the bottom beyond that. Okay. JG, various products. You're not helping me, JG, so be specific. Tell me what kind of products. Absolutely agree. Great, great. Awesome. Because if it's these products, then if they're kind of like, if they're physical products that make sense for people, then that template should work. You're welcome, guest 6780, whoever you are. Okay. All right, well, with that, we're going to go ahead and let you guys go. And once again, you have 120 hours, and then campaign for a t-shirt right now. Oh, God. So it may work. It's just that t-shirts are kind of like so sophisticated and so like competitive that you've got to look at what's that part about like people don't listen to CDs anymore, but they do, actually do this. And what you're going to need to do is find the differentiation. There's a lot more differentiation. So Jay, I'm saying right now, that template for something as hyper competitive as t-shirts, we have better templates. Okay, I'm giving you the beginner one, but going straight to a t-shirt, like, that's hyper competitive. So you're going to need to do a lot more. You might be able to use some of that template, but if you just use that fill in the blank with nothing else, that's not going to work too well for a t-shirt unless you know how to like talk to that market through the right belief system. Okay, we talk more about that in the course. So if you come back to me and say, hey, this thing didn't work, it's not because the template didn't work. It's because your elements and tapping the belief system about that t-shirt and all of that wasn't on, okay? So I give this template away so people can try it and learn and understand the process, but I'm gonna tell you right now, something as hyper competitive as t-shirts might work, but it's a t-shirt that doesn't get dirty, it's stain resistant. I need you to really go into that and why it is, okay? So that might be your saving grace, okay? Do what you can, Jay, but coming inside the course, you're gonna learn a lot more about how to tap that belief system, okay? Can't give you everything for free. It's giving you the basics for free, okay? So I think you guys can all tell that I was willing to be as generous as possible, giving you guys a template, giving you guys 2 hours of full training that could very easily you'd have paid $100 for or more, okay? But I want you guys to know what we have. So once again, if you want to become a code member, you get support inside the group. I'm in there all the time and looking forward to having you guys. Take care. Good night.